It's Clobberin time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger, ready to move out.
Poker. You know the game?
Clobberanimo!
Come get some.
It's Clobberin time!
The word is given.
Clobberanimo!
Greetings, clobberers, clobberanimos, clobberusings, clobberarians, clobberoids, clobble thistles, and clobble vattles, and anyone out there who is not yet clobbered, you will one day, as soon as you learn how to. Bang the rocks together, guys. Welcome to Clobberin Times, issue number 499 on YouTube, 1,499 overall over the past 15 years. It is Wild Card Wednesday night, but tonight we're not going to be so wild and cardy. We're going to be Dbudmartin, the return of the great Dbudmartin. What's up, buddy?
Doing great, Clobby. How are you doing?
Good to see you, man. Doing great. I'm so glad to have you here. It's been about a year, I guess.
Yeah.
Roughly speaking.
Your last April, because it was George
Okay.
Teska's birthday.
It was George's
that we were
birthday.
celebrating.
Yeah, well, we'll celebrate it a little bit late this year, but I'll do some show noties and then shout outies, and we'll get moving on it. So good to see you all here with us here tonight, folks. Let's see. Show notes are as follows. Tomorrow, what did I put it? Oh yeah, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Special time, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will be here just for a little while, just celebrating episode 500 on YouTube, episode 1,500, 1,500, in other words, overall, and 15 years of me shooting my mouth off over the so-called airwaves of the internet, or the internet waves, if you will, about geekness and geek foolishness. For some strange reason, I don't know why. The internet has let me get away with it for 15 years. You never know when it'll put a stop to it, and you're praying for that. So we'll see. But that'll be 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. I invite you all to come hang out with me for a little while. I know it's an early part of the day, but whoever can make it, I hope you can. Just come say hi. And like I said, I understand if you're all busy. I don't know who's going to even be able to show up, but the invite will be out there. Anyway, there's that. And, of course, after that, I'll go probably hang out with Tom and the Great Midnight's Edge After Dark gang. And then our usual, the Clobby's Clubhouse will be in session. My wonderful first officer, Commander R.M. Briggs, and the great chief engineer himself, Balky D with a C, joining me for another Blake 7 episode review, a Kolchak the Night Stalker episode review, and of course the Star Trek Unlimited comic book review, and much more geekness there. And by the way, the Kolchak Night Stalker watch party tonight after we end here, Mark's going to be having that on his channel again. So come check that out with us, if you will, if you're a Night Stalker, a Kolchak the Night Stalker fan. Let's see here. And then, of course, Friday night. It is Fantastic Fridays on my great buddy J-Man's channel. Sean and J-Man and myself continue our coverage of every single issue of the Jack King Kirby's legendary run on the world's greatest comic magazine, Fantastic Four 1 through 102, annuals 1 through 6. It is, of course, on J-Man's channel, as I said, Friday nights, 7 Eastern, 6 Pacific. And it is a load of fun. We do 4 issues a week, of course. And it's great fun hanging out with those fellers, talking about this magnificent, all-important run of comic books. So it's great stuff. And then later, on my good buddy 32 Flavors of Nick Miser channel, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. The great Dbudmartin, who is here with us tonight, and he's been joining Nicholas over the past couple of weeks with the Friday Night Comic Shop Boys, reviewing, in the midst of reviewing the John Romita, the classic John Romita run on Amazing Spider-Man. And this week, I believe 4 more issues. If I'm getting this wrong, let me know, D-Bud. It's Amazing Spider-Man 53 through 56. Is that correct?
Correct, yes. It's the Dr. Octopus story. Nice.
4 issues. And I'm looking forward to that as always. And then, of course, sorry, technical issues. Then, of course, Saturday Night Star Trek is back, as always. My wonderful first officer, the extraordinary Commander Oren Briggs, and I will be beginning season 7 of Star Trek Voyager. 4 more scintillating episodes of that series, and it'll be all kinds of fun. What a great crew we always have there, reviewing 4 episodes. So there's that. And then, of course, finally, Sunday night, Injured Weekend Geek at the great Mark D with a C's channel on his extraordinary page, on his extraordinary YouTube channel, Sunday Night Geekery, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm there with him, hanging out, just kind of giving you like a nice relaxing end to your week. So thank you all so much for being here. It's a little shout outs, and then we'll get going, shall we? Whether they're here or not, our great wrenches get the shout out. Eric K., the Bronze Wrencher. Chris Persia, the great Vindicator Wrench of the Great White North. The aforementioned, and he's here with us tonight, Dbudmartin, the Wrench of Iron, the man who literally wrote the book on Iron Man. Lord Thoth, Avon lives, long live the Legion, God of Wrenches. Thank you so much. The aforementioned great J-Man, partner in crime on Earth B, and fantastic Legionnaire reviewer extraordinaire. Our own music master, Maximum Redstone. Fanty outside of the rascally wrench himself by Triple Bullwinkle Wrench, Larry, Maddie's daddy, and Kal-El. And thank you all so much. Let's see who was here with us in the chat. FKH, what's up, Tim? Good to see you, buddy. Ravenscroft, my friend, thank you for being here. Joe Dog, what's up, Joe Dog? Always good to see you. Thank you for being here. Let's see. But Penny, hey Penny, good to see you, my dear. Hope you're doing well. Wagner, buddy. All right, Gwag. Tex, 1701 Tex. What's up, bro? Good to see you. Good to see you, bro. I got you, Jay. Don't worry about it, brother. Looking forward to seeing you Friday night. It's Friday night's a great night for FF. J-Man. Yep. So there we go. Those are our shout outs and show notes and show notes and shout outs and showers and stuff. So tonight, folks, on this wild card, we have a special one for you. The aforementioned good buddy Dbudmartin, a man who wrenches everywhere, because he is the man of iron. So it's appropriate that he wields an iron wrench, and he uses repulsor technology for that wrench, of course. Oh, thank you, Max, for the member chat of 21 months. Thanks for being a member, buddy. Just mana from the sky for you. Fuck you, Rick Berman. Fuck you, Rick Berman. I have to say that in a certain way, I guess it's still, maybe the algorithm still thinks I'm cussing, but I'm not. Fuck you, Rick Berman, Adrian James. So one thing I like to do on here, though some of you may have noticed, we love reviewing comic books here. I never resist a chance to have a Clobby's Classic Comics review. We do them on sometimes lots on Monday nights. And hey, Chris Persia, buddy. We do them on obviously on J-Man's channel a lot as well. We do them on Nick's channel, so it's all over the place. And about a year ago, well, before way back, Dbud, when you started hanging out and we started talking about comics, when you in the chat and me on the horn, as they say, we would every now and then we would talk about comic book artists, as comic book geeks are wont to do, right? And
yes.
A bit about. Well, I would, I would say some not so flattering things about the great artist George Tuska, because I did see, when I was a kid, I did not like much of his stuff at all. Remember seeing most of his later stuff, as you so expertly pointed out. But and I had not seen a lot of at that point back then when I was seeing the stuff I didn't like. I had not really seen a lot of his earlier Iron Man. I think when I first saw him, it was on some of the titles like Champions. Yeah, and
and Coletta was usually inking him back at that point. Yeah.
I mean, and even it was other stuff before that. And but
tonight's issues, you're going to see some good inking on Tuska.
Johnny Craig
will really bring out his artwork. Yeah,
this is some of the best Tuska I've seen. But anyway, so we would always joke around back and forth talking about the pros and cons of Tuska over the years, right, or whatever. And then eventually you came on and said it was George's posthumously, of course, his birthday. We did a stream last year where we reviewed, was it one issue?
Yes, it was issue number 6, which was the second issue that Tuska drew of Iron Man.
The Crusher.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's his first. That was the first one that I purchased.
Okay, so
off the newsstand at 7-Eleven, and
right.
So that was the first issue I ever saw of Iron Man, and it was Tuska, of course.
Yeah, there you go. So you saw we reviewed your first Iron Man book, really.
Yeah, and
so
actually, since J-Man's been lurking out there,
J-Man, check this out. You got
I've been watching when I can, watching you guys doing the FF comics, and last week you did what was it?
Well, we did 20
or 2023, 21, 22, 23, and the annual.
And the annual. That's correct. Annual 1, 21, 22, 23. Yeah. Right. Say, J-Man, look at this, buddy.
2022 is
that's the most amazing issue ever.
Yeah, I actually missed that part of it live. I had to go back and watch it on replay. That part of it.
I got you.
But
we have so much fun doing that.
That was the first actual story I saw of the Fantastic Four, not in a comic book. That was the first episode of the 67 Hanna-Barbera cartoon for Fantastic Four.
Right.
And they had several issues, but the very first issue, the first episode, was the adaptation of issue 22. And that same 7-Eleven I bought that Iron Man number 6 at also had Marvel Collector Item Classics. And that particular month, right there at that time, they were re-showing that for the repeat of that first episode. And they reprinted that story in Marvel Collector's Item Classics. But
oh my goodness,
always wanted to get the original copy. And this was when I sold my collection in like 1980. This was the early FF comic that I kept because this was such a important and memorable issue for me.
Yeah.
And I thought J-Man would like to see this is an original copy. And I probably picked it up in I'd say probably 1976, I think, 6 or 7. And this actually has the price on it still. Take a stab at how much I paid for this.
What do you 77 about $5?
Close. 7.
$7?
So $7 is what I paid for this.
Wow.
So yeah, this is
Nice, dude.
I mean, when I got the collector's item classic of this, I couldn't read. I was only like 6 or 7 years old, but I knew what the story was because I'd seen this adapts the story
cartoon
pretty closely in the cartoon. So
J-Man said he'll give you $14, he'll double your money.
Might
Maybe
need a
not.
little bit more than that. But that's
Oh, man.
still, yeah, that's
For those
the
who
thing
wonder,
going into the cotton ball and suing the room with the invisible objects.
for those who may have missed our review on J-Man's channel Friday night, please go. J-Man, put your link in the chat to your channel so everyone can support your channel. And if you want to see our Fantastic Fridays, we'll be doing them for a while. But what's significant about this issue? I mean, this issue's landmark beyond belief because not only it's the return of Mole Man, which is true, but this issue's not only the first time that Ben mentions Aunt Petunia, it's the first time that he utters a classic phrase that my show is based on. The first time he says, "It's clobbering time."
And it's when Sue gets her invisible force field powers.
And when Sue gets her, I know I forgot something.
Yeah.
It opens up with that. So Sue's powers expanded. That is just incredible. It's fantastic, actually.
It's fantastic, yes. But yeah, this is
Atheistic.
the cartoon adapts this very closely. So it's this is a very important comic book, especially to
It
Clobby.
truly is. Especially to me.
See if I
Absolutely.
can get that.
I used to have a copy, not as good as that copy. Damn it. Oh my God. That's beautiful, dude. That's
right there,
unbelievable.
rub my finger.
There it is.
It for the first time.
There, right there. You may not be able to make it out, folks, but that is where, look, that little balloon, the bottom
where to
where
focus on it.
You know, it won't focus, but don't worry about that. Just even if it doesn't focus, that's the first time he ever said, "It's clobbering time." Gotta love it. Hey, Larry. What's up, brother? So
this comic also brought us Clobby.
Oh, yes. Who knows where I would be without that saying? I'd have to be. Yeah, I wouldn't want. I have no idea what my show would be called if there was no such thing as that. It's saying, my goodness,
it might be the Fancy Dan show.
Might be. You never
Possibly.
know. Might be the Dr. Doom show. I don't know. Max Redstone, thanks for the super chat, buddy. He says we've landed down and safe. It's Travisan. It's Travisan. The word. I wish I had that clip, buddy. I don't have it. The word. But thank you, buddy. So tonight we review.
We'll be reviewing this issue.
Yes.
Coming of the Controller.
Iron Man number 12.
With some beautiful Tusca art inked by Johnny Craig.
Yes, we're going to get a nice eyeful of that.
I never saw this on the newsstand when it came out.
And then
I did see this, but I couldn't pick it up because I had to choose between buying this and Fantastic Four 87.
Well, yeah.
Fantastic Four 87.
I totally understand that, as cool as that is.
But this is one of those cool 2-color covers.
Yeah. By Tusca, actually.
By Tusca, yeah.
Yeah, this is the best one. Maybe if this is not his best work I've ever seen, it's got to be up there. I think it might be. I mean, it's been ages since I've even glanced at this comic, and I probably only just saw it at a glance somewhere. So it was almost like new to me because I had this in a Masterworks or something. But
a lot of
nice. Yes, we will definitely show it where everybody can see it.
And you've got you'll see it in the. But this is this was, I think, his best period with Johnny Craig inking him. Johnny Craig being from old EC Comics fame.
And occasionally doing whole pencils himself when Tusca needed a vacation.
Yes, he did it. He actually did it after Gene Colan did the book.
Right.
Craig did a couple of issues, and Tesca came on. I think there was an issue in, I think, issue 14 in this run where Tesca was off, and Craig also penciled that issue as well. But this was really the start of a very long run of Tesca, and this is a pretty good issue to showcase what he was doing at that time, not just because of Johnny Craig's inks, but you may have noticed the panels I was showing that this early period he was experimenting. He kind of, between issues 8 through 16, he went with doing non-rectangular panels. If you may have noticed that when I was showing those pictures, but instead of having the regular rectangular boxes for the panels on the page, he's got them at all sorts of angles. And he did this throughout this period of about a year. But he only did it from issue 8 through 16.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah, it's amazing work. Sorry, I'm having some computers being a pain in the butt. Sorry. Let's see. Let's pull that up here. Where are you? There you are. All right. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Sorry about him. Issues, so to speak. Full screen. All right. So what we have here is what we have here is Iron Man volume only, number 12. Almost only. Cover art by George Tuska. Release date January 2nd, 1969. Cover date April 1969. Writer Archie Goodwin. He was just getting started. The great Archie Goodwin. He was one of Marvel's best all-time writers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He did a lot. And DC.
I agree.
Penciled by the great George Tuska. Tim pencils by the great George Tuska. Inker Johnny Craig. Letterer Artie Simek, and editor some guy who didn't really do anything. So boom, boom, boom. Or if you talk to Roy Thomas, were editors, created everything. Ace Cast Iron, what's up, bro? Good to see you, buddy. Always great, man. I hope you're doing well, bro. Miss you big time. So it was great to see this again, man. Look, it's almost, I say again, I mean, it's been so long. I had it I think I read it in a Masterwork. So it might be in the 90s, maybe, or whatever they did that. Or maybe it wasn't the 90s, but whatever they did it in the Masterwork. Unless it's been reprinted elsewhere. In fact, I'll check that right now. Where else has it been reprinted? It's been reprinted.
They probably have the Epic collections nowadays, I would think.
Usually this tells you, doesn't even tell you. But I'm pretty sure it's been anyway, but that doesn't matter. So it is a great cover by Tuska. Love that match. I love that corner box. Comics had gone up to 12 cents, of course, many years ago. So in other words, they stayed at 12 cents for a good long time.
Yeah, not long enough.
Well, but still, considering other runs, other price runs.
Yeah, going up to 15 cents wasn't so bad, but when they went to 20, that was a little more painful.
Ravenscroft said, yeah, I get the hint, buddy. I know you want me to review that Overmind story. It can happen, man. I'll tell you what, after we finally conquer the Kirby run, Ravenscroft, or maybe before, we'll see. I will do it on my show, the Overmind story, because it's been forever since I read that. But of course, I like that era. I think it'd be John Buscema or somebody like that, or was it Buckler? I can't remember. Anyway, so here we go. Number 12, great opening page there. The coming of the controller. Now this was interesting. No one remembers this lover of Tony Stark.
Oh, I do, because of course she was his girlfriend when I started reading the comics, of course.
Right.
But this is Janice Cord, who was the daughter of Drexel Cord, who created the Demolisher, which was in issue 2 of this series. He was a rival to Tony Stark, a rival industrialist, and he created a robot to try to take out Iron Man, and wound up getting killed in the process. And so Janice, his daughter here, has inherited his company, and she's become Tony's love interest. And this issue's it starts off. Actually, this issue, a lot of this is set up. I'll say that up
Yes,
front.
it is.
There's not much action in this issue. It's all setting up the next issue and setting up the character of the controller. But we're kind of starting off after the end of the previous story, which was the Mandarin. And
yes, the Mandarin.
He was trying to protect his identity. So he had a life model decoy that he created of himself.
Stark, meaning Stark.
Yeah, Stark, to fool people into thinking that, okay, they're two different people, Iron Man and Stark. And at the end of the previous story, well, it had done what it was programmed to do, so it shut down.
Well, see, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, they find Stark after he's been battling the Mandarin, and he comes back, and they go, oh, we're taking Mr. Stark to the hospital because we can't get a pulse on him. And he's like, oh, so he starts off here. He's like, I gotta do something, because if they find out it's a robot, they're gonna think that I'm Iron Man again.
Well, that's what I wanted to get into with you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, that's kind of something I wanted to bring up with you, but if you go, unless you got something else.
Oh yeah, no, I just wanted to kind of set that up, because that's right after that. So it's.
Well, I wanted to go into something though about that, because again, not that I don't know if this really applies to so many people that are here with us tonight or who may pop in to listen, but it's been there was a time with about possibly the first 30 to 40 years of the existence of the character of Iron Man, maybe 30 or whatever it was, a big chunk of it. He was the bodyguard, and Tony Stark was, everyone. In other words, Iron Man, Tony Stark had a secret identity, or Iron Man had a secret identity. And it was a big deal in the comic, and even the Avengers didn't know it for the longest time, right? It was different. No one knew who Iron Man really was. Now, I'll ask you, I'll ask you this in a second, but I'll get to the point. First of all, even though I think it was done, I know it was done before the 2008 Iron Man movie. That movie even took a swat at the whole idea of him being a bodyguard, like in one throwaway line. It looked like they were gonna do that. I remember at the end of that movie, it looked like they were gonna do that, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. He's gonna be the bodyguard. They just said it, and then it stops and ends with him saying, "I am Iron Man." Blah, 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 and that music and stuff, and it's fine. I'm not saying that's not okay for the movies, but I'm basically saying it does take something away from my childhood of always knowing that Iron Man was a mystery inside. I guess it added to the complications of the stories or whatever. So I would ask you, before I ask you which you prefer, do you have a basic idea of when they just threw that in the garbage and decided the whole world just knows Tony Stark is Iron Man? I can't remember where.
Oh, I have no idea.
I dumped out.
It was after I stopped buying comics. I stopped getting comics.
Me too.
In January of 1996. I think there was one. There was the Bad Blood series that Micheline and Layton did in, it was like 99 or 2000.
Yeah.
And I picked that up. But other than that, that's the only new comics that I'd ever picked up after January of 96. So anything that's happened after that point,
right?
I only know secondhand. Haven't read it. I only know a few things more about kind of what happened with Spider-Man, but and just what I hear you guys talking about from the newer comics. But I honestly haven't read them since then.
No, I got you.
They're not part of my continuity.
So we both have that problem, because I don't know if I'm pretty sure it must. I mean, I'm not pretty sure of anything. If someone knows. Because I don't follow it either. So I've got a big gap. Not that I care, because I don't care about those comics. So I don't, but I'm just guessing that the movie didn't start it, but maybe it did. I don't know, but it became accepted.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it became the accepted. And I do know that in comics after that, So if anyone here knows, Fanty would know, but he probably, I don't know if he's there. When that started, it has to be, it's after your time and after mine. Because I dropped Marvel somewhere in the early 2000s, maybe. And I wasn't reading any,
Further than I went.
Yeah, and I wasn't even buying very many of those. It was 2002, volume 3, number 55, says Fanty. Thank you.
Thanks,
Man, he'll always do the research for you. Way to go. So what was the deal on that, Fanty? Did they just make it a big deal, or was it was it because it was probably that way in Ultimates? I mean, I don't understand. So there you go.
I can't. I mean, it fits for the movie. It certainly fits. I think it made more sense for that. But for the comics, you need the secret identity thing. That's always
right.
That always adds tension and drama to the stories, because you can always have that. I mean, that's in fact what the story previous to that was. It was all about his identity possibly getting revealed. So that takes away story if you know what his identity is.
Yeah. So basically, from right around close to 40 years.
Raven
Stark convinced the press Iron Man was his bodyguard, but then Stark became Iron Man to save a dog. Not joking. Oh God.
Well, Ravenscroft had a question for me about what soured me on comics. They just didn't appeal to me story-wise anymore. And I was getting out of the business. I mean, I stopped this once I got out of my stores. That's when I stopped reading them. But even at that point, I had kind of stopped reading most of the books. I used to try to at least flip through them to get an idea what was going on, but they just weren't interesting me anymore. I didn't care for the stories that they were doing, and the style of art was getting away from the type of art that I like the Kirby's and Rabitas and Tuscas. You were getting a very stylized art, which, I mean, I wouldn't say I disliked it, but it just wasn't what I preferred. You had people like McFarlane, which was nice art, but it just was too stylized. So I just wasn't interested in what they were doing, and to me, the characters had been around for so long, it was getting to the point where they kind of needed to reboot them entirely, in the way that DC redid their main characters in the 50s and 60s from the old Golden Age characters. I thought the Marvel characters that have been around to the point where they'd be too old. They need to kind of move on, and they couldn't just replace them. So they kind of just had to redo their stories, and they eventually did, from what I can tell. But at that point, I just thought they were getting a little too long in the tooth in what they were doing story wise. So
same here. Hey, Claude Selling, welcome, and Keely Chow, roll tide, good to see you. And so Fanty said they were think they were just tired of Stark ducking out to become Iron Man, aka laser writing. Yeah, and Ravenscraft said that I get it. I made it until 2015, but haven't picked up anything since then, mostly for the reasons I listed. But yeah, same here. I've stopped. I dumped out after Screw 52, but I still bought some other stuff for a while, and then finally just, I don't know, get more and more. I looked up at one point, maybe 6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, and realized the only thing I was buying was facsimiles. So we'll get back to this. I wanted to establish something about Iron Man there that was interesting, that he's totally different now. At this time, he's Tony Stark makes you feel that like he's a cool exec with a heart of steel. But then, as Iron Man, all jets ablaze, he fights with repulsor rays. Amazing armor. Iron Man, a blazing armor. Iron Man. Had to. Not embarrassed in the least. Only a little.
And his voice in my head made him sound like Dean Wormer from Animal House.
Yeah, no, yes. That fat, drunken, stupid is no way to go through life, son. I am Tony Stark, and I will turn into Iron Man Why do I sound like this? Because all of us do. All the voices on this cartoon sound like John Vernon. I love those cartoons. So, Tony Stark is fine. The LM, I like that he used the life model decoy.
Yeah, he starts up the life model decoy just in time. He gets to the factory and
yes, and Shield
gets
was
it to come back.
Shield was in these comics a lot. Fury and all these guys and stuff. So
yes, it's a big part of the Iron Man book at this time. And this pages here, and I think the following pages, because this is him putting this life model decoy in storage.
Right.
And then the next panel after this, on this next page, you've got Jasper Sitwell picking up from S.H.I.E.L.D. And at this time, Jasper Sitwell was assigned to Stark Industries because Stark made all of their equipment. And so they felt they needed a S.H.I.E.L.D. person there to help with security because, of course, that's where they were getting all their armaments from. And so he was a regular character on Iron Man since the last few issues of Tales of Suspense, before Iron Man got his own title here. And during that time, he met Whitney Frost, who was actually, unknowns to the characters, the Big M, the leader of the Magia from Marvel's
Mafia.
Magia. And she actually, at the end of issue number 8, she had escaped because Jasper could have stopped her, but he couldn't bring himself to because he had fallen in love with her. And she took off in this helicopter-like vehicle, and it crashed into the Everglades. And here they are fishing it out of the water. Yeah. And this is kind of setting up between what you just saw with the life model decoy and this. It's actually setting up the story that happens in issue 17 through 19, where we're introduced to the character of Midas. And the life model decoy actually comes back to life and it decides to take over Tony's real life.
Oh, wow.
And Madame Mask comes into the
Madame
story,
Mask. Oh, yeah.
And you find out that she's actually Whitney Frost, who had her face scarred by chemicals and things that were in that vehicle that she crashed in. And she managed to get out of it, but it just destroyed her face.
Right.
Which is why she became Madame Mask and wears the mask.
And
here's an interesting picture here up at the top right of the helicarrier actually sitting on the ground.
It's all pink and yellow and stuff.
And it's a little pink must be the sun. All the bouncing off the flamingos because they're supposed to be in Florida.
Rod Thunderheart, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. So
there's a lot of setup going on here for later issues.
Well, interesting note about Sitwell, and we'll get on. Of course, obviously, he was nothing like he was in the movies. He was nothing like this guy.
That wasn't him.
But the initially, I was reading something just the other day. In fact, someone had come up with some Kirby original art from one of the early appearances of Sitwell in the S.H.I.E.L.D. comic or whatever, and apparently Kirby and Lee didn't agree on what should be done with Sitwell because, as you know, Lee would put his own dialogue and after he get a story via Marvel method. Well, this was evidence of that. Put this way, Sitwell is based on Roy Thomas. That's been talked about.
Yes.
And like later, remember all the old House Roy stuff that Kirby did to him in this Fourth World, carrying House Roy. Yes. Well, if you look, this guy, he looked at in the margins beneath the panel where a couple of things where Fury's talking about Sitwell, and it's not flattery at all. He's reading. Kirby's basically saying that everyone thinks he's a boob. He's a little arrogant little jerk. He's an idiot and all this stuff. But in the Lee dialogue, Fury's saying basically almost the opposite, complimenting him and say, yeah, he's an arrogant young snot, but he might take my job someday. This kid's really talented, all this other kind of stuff. And he was later he was character development. He was kind of he had it together. He's like a young, he might be a really good agent one day. But according to what Kirby had put in the early appearance and what he'd intended, that's not what happened. So what he wanted, of course, he's always overruled. Stan was the boss. Stan was the editor. So Stan changed the character. He didn't want him to be. Now, I don't know if it's because he thought Kirby was basing on Roy Thomas and he was insulting Roy Thomas. Good night, J-Man. But I always thought that was kind of, interesting. How many other characters? And, of course, the words are still, you can see what Kirby wrote. So.
Yeah, Sitwell's a very square character.
Right.
He's very, by the book.
But he's not incompetent like
square.
Kirby wanted to make him.
No, not at all. Yeah, he's not incompetent, but he's just a square.
Indeed. So here we go. We've got move along a little bit because, like you said, Bosa, this is set up. It's soap opera.
Yes. And they're mentioning this character at the bottom here, which is
Sandhurst,
which is Vincent Sandhurst, which is Janice's lawyer. And he's been pressuring her to try to sell her company to Stark. And you find out why in this, because Tony's going, that's weird. Why is he trying to sell this? Their company's worth more than that. And then you find out as he goes to this house, you're hearing his brother talk to him, and it's like you find out his brother's like a bedridden, and he's got this mansion is got all these automated devices to assist him, and he's got servants there that are supposed to help him, but he's not seeing any of them. And then he runs into his brother.
And he is
like, the controller.
The controller. Oh, wow. Basil, you're up. Walking, moving, a medical impossibility unless it's so inhuman, so awful. You look like a dumbass, too, with your green face. So he doesn't know what the hell is going on. So like any good supervillain, he explains it.
Yes. We get the whole background of
all the background story.
Controller was his Basil Sandhurst, Vincent's brother, also a scientist, but a little not very moral. And he's working for Drexel Cord.
Like it was just Reed Richards, Drexel Cord, Tony Stark, all pygmies in the inventive field compared to me. Well, says you.
Yes, he's also modest.
Yes.
And he gets a little out of hand here, and his brothers talks to him, and it's like, hey, you gotta cool down. You can't do this. And they continue to get to fight. And it turns out that one of the little things that they're fighting next to is a bit explosive.
Of course,
it's always his brother pushes him into, and boom,
combustible.
And so Vincent Vincent runs away, and Basil's left there injured, and he winds up getting, disfigured and becomes virtually unable to move.
Right.
And so it turns out that Vincent's
Night J-Man. See you, buddy. But yes.
It turns out that he's been using that Vincent's been embezzling money for years from the Cord Company to automate this mansion and get him servants and all of this, and even let him be able to do experiments. And he's been able to do enough of it to create his Absorbitron, which uses mental energy. And he's taken all the servants that he'd given him and put them into this thing. And it's basically they're basically batteries for this device that sends all their mental energy to that exoskeleton that he's wearing.
Yep.
And it gives him basically the power of as many people as he has loaded into this Absorbitron.
Yep.
And he's also that it has a limited range. It's beaming to him, but the more people he can get connected to it, the more range it'll have, and the more power, of course, that he gets. Every person he gets, he becomes that much more powerful. And then he showed, by the way, I've also created these little discs. that link anybody with these up to the Absorbitron as well. And so they don't, he doesn't have to load everybody into that. He can just attach his disk to him and it'll beam it to that and beam it to him. And he decides to use his brother as a guinea pig to test the disk. So, brotherly love there.
Of course, he's such a nice guy. This guy's got all the class of a nihilist. Yeah. So yeah, he's a piece of work. This guy, he's just called the controller. You know why, right? Because he could control people. Not to put too fine a point on it, but anyway, Tony Stark is making you feel right here that he's a cool exec with a heart of steel. Just saying.
Yeah,
and again, I don't
the way he's driving that car that looks just like the opening.
True.
Cartoon.
Yeah, except that's not as cool a car. But yeah,
no.
Hey, Putin's cat. I thought Putin's cat. I did talk Putin's cat. Let's see.
But here
he's
taking
people on the beach. Not really.
Not in this issue.
He could though.
It's a later one, I think.
If he wanted to, he could.
But here he's taking Janice to go. I like on a trip, but he's also going to where he thinks Sandhurst is, because he wants to talk and say, "Hey, how come you're trying to get her to sell? This doesn't make sense. Her company's worth more than this." And he stops at this. He doesn't see anybody in town, so he stops in the restaurant, and all of them have discs on their heads, and they're all looking right up at that old house on the cliff.
Oops! They must have complained about the clam chowder.
Yeah, they didn't put milk in it. It's not chowder.
Indeed. So all of a sudden, this guy shows up, the controller. Now, again, I don't even remember her until I saw this. She must not be around much longer.
No, she wasn't. She was only around for about another year.
Okay.
She actually, because she's the first girlfriend he had after Pepper Potts, because she got married to Happy Hogan.
Happy Hogan. Yeah.
And there's a while he didn't really see anybody, and then they introduced her in issue number 2. But she's actually the first supporting character that I ever saw die in the comics.
Oh, does she die?
She gets killed in issue 22 when Iron Man is fighting the second Crimson Dynamo and the Titanium Man.
Okay.
And she gets caught out where they're out there, and the Titanium Man's zapping both Iron Man and Crimson Dynamo. He's after both of them, and she's just standing there unprotected, and he just blasts them with an electric zap. And of course, she's unprotected, and she winds up getting killed.
Wow!
And that was the first. Yeah, that was the first supporting character I ever saw die in the comic.
Yeah, but this is before Gwen Stacy got killed.
Oh yeah, years.
So yet nobody even noticed. She wasn't.
No, she wasn't around for very long. Yeah, she was only around for just under 2 years.
Years. Yeah.
I don't know why they decided to write her out, but.
Well, obviously, no one cared about her like they did to Gwen or whatever. That was Spider-Man was a bigger book, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there we go. Controller takes her. He can fly, apparently. I don't know.
Yeah, he can levitate. It gives him enough power to the mind. Yeah, he mentions here it's just the mind pool is even floating. Levitation is within my power.
Yep, he's floating.
So we finally get Iron Man into his suit and heads after him.
Damn. Oh man.
And again, you can see here like all these panels that none of them are rectangular. They're all at angles.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting.
This is all angled. He doesn't have anything straight. Yeah.
Interesting stuff, Georgie. Absolutely.
And this is actually the last page here. It's rather quickly. He takes a few whacks at it and says, "Wow, this guy's not budging from my hits." And he slaps a disc onto Iron Man, and he's already slapped one onto Janice. And he hauls him off to his little castle and says, "There are going to be a couple more batteries for my machine."
Yes. I've stormed into the castle.
It's like, oh, I guess that's all done. They're over.
This is a cool cover.
Yeah, and it's
Bad
not one of
cover.
these nice. I like these 2-color covers like this.
Yes.
They're nice.
These red and black covers. Very nice here. And again, you know, you don't really see George get to do a lot of covers except on Iron Man, I guess. But this is exceptional. Really like it.
See?
Carnage.
Can't let that other later work.
No, you can't. But I've known that.
Focus.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. You're right. But man, it was sort of like that same thing happened to me with Frank Robbins. I didn't realize. So if you look at some of his Golden Age stuff, it's not bad at all. Very trying to be sort of like a Milton Caniff type, but sorry, it's 70s stuff.
Yeah.
And the same that happened to me with Don Heck. It happened to me with Carmen Infantino and Frank Springer, people like that, because I saw their later stuff when they were very old. It did, you know, at that it was the first time I saw when I was a teenager, and later I had to go back and see their stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like Ditko even. I had Kirby's.
Yeah, Ditko too.
Kirby's one that I really didn't see much of a change in his older work.
Not as much. No.
Kusima, I didn't see a change in his. Ramita.
No.
Those guys, I didn't really see a change in their work, but
Boy,
a lot of the other ones.
Yeah.
And of course, it also depended on the inkers too, but some of them it wasn't. I mean, like Ditka's later work, didn't matter who was inking that. It was, it wasn't looking good.
He did an FF annual. I'm like, oh my God.
I know which one you're talking about.
Right. Well, at the time, I've been, you know, the Marvel Tales I was picking up, I think all it had Ramita in it. So, you know, but I loved it. So I really, at that time, had not seen much Ditko. Yoros Lamunko, what's up, my friend? So I wasn't able to get my appreciation for Ditko much later when I started getting to see his reprints and stuff. Spidey and his reprints of Doctor Strange. So I would see something and I was like, oh no, and his Rom, he did Rom. He did a Legion of Superheroes this year or two. I'm like, what in the hell? And I hate to say that now, but it's just true. I was like that. And that happens to some people. Some people have said that about Kirby, and it's fine. I don't know. I just don't see that in that case. But I've said it enough about other artists so that I can get it, you know. And yes, Tuska on Champions. You know, and yes, I guess he had Coletta inking some of those, but not just Coletta. Jack Abel's a terrible. Jack Abel,
or like you know, we were talking about Don Perlin last week. He had passed away.
Yes, Don Perlin.
His work it's hard for me to tell what his stuff was really like because I could see very drastic differences in the artwork based on who was inking him. And some stuff, if he had like a Senat or Sal Buscema inking it, looked decent. And there were some other people that would work on it, and it just looked awful. And some of the stuff he did in, like, say, his Werewolf by Night work, did not like it. Yeah, that was it. So
I never. He
so
was like
I don't know what to make of his work because it was so drastically different. Yeah.
Oh, in Perlin, you mean?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine. We were both trying to say the nicest things we could because there was never that much on it. Like his Defenders too much. I didn't like anything really. His Werewolf, like you said, or his Moon Knight. But what we're saying, he's a competent cartoonist, which means you can cleanly enough tell a story, but there's no dynamism to his figures. There's nothing that stands out. They look kind of like coloring books, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, I just didn't buy his comic usually. When a comic he did, I didn't really buy it when I would see he would do it. But I was really heavy into that Valiant comics in the early 90s, and he took over Bloodshot. Or he started with Bloodshot. And I wanted to read it. It was a good story, but man, the art was just so generic and so bland. And of course, but some people really love the guy. And I guess just, it didn't fit for a comic book like that. But yeah. Whereas
different types you could do that would be fine with, but yeah, his composition wasn't interesting.
No.
Yeah. And his acting stuff wasn't.
Oh no, yeah, exactly. Now, here we have Iron Man Volume number 13. Art for the cover art by George Tuska. Release date was February 4, 1969. Cover date May of 1969. Written by Archie Goodwin, penciler. George Tuska, inks by Johnny Craig and Herb Cooper on the letters. And no, sometimes they don't give the color credit. And edited by nobody. Because I don't say his name around here. All right, Tex, be seeing you, brother. Thanks for being here.
And that February of 69 is when I moved here I had lived in Burbank until the end of January of 1969. And then I moved up to Northern California, to the Bay Area, February 1st of 1969. And so I didn't know where to buy comic books for a while. And by the time I did, this was about to be taken off the stands. And that's when I got to the problem of either I buy this or Fantastic Four 87, and I had to go with Fantastic Four 87.
I don't blame you.
So
Kirby goodness right there.
So this month was a month I didn't get any Marvel comics.
Oh my!
So I just didn't know where to get comics at the time. It was in a new and strange city.
You worked it out though.
Yes.
So, what's his face controller has Iron Man and Janice Cord, captives of the controller.
And Fanty was just asking in the chat a little bit ago about, hey, how does that disc work on the armor? It's not contacting the skull. Well, surprise, surprise, he was playing possum.
Yep.
He's just trying to find out what the heck is going on. So he decided, I'll pretend it's working on me and see what he's up to.
There you go.
And so we're finally going to get some action here. Like I said, last issue was pretty much all set up.
Oh, yeah.
So this one makes up for it. So this is, he finally gets to get into a tussle with him. And again, you could see the non-rectangular panels in this throughout this issue.
Yes. Absolutely inspired panel work.
Yeah. And you can see that, the actions, a lot of very dynamic. And Craig's inks on this is probably the best inking on Tuska to me was Johnny Craig. I think he really pulled out the artwork. It just made it look really great.
It's got some Kirby dots.
Yep.
This is nicely done.
So,
I love it.
Yeah, it's got all that motion and
love the panel arrangement.
Yeah.
Tuska did really top-notch work here. Not just the figures, but just like you said, the dynamics of it, the energy, the excitement, the action.
Yeah, and it makes it, the way he's got those panels, it fits in things. He's got each of the boots in there, and it's just, he made it really work well to have those non-rectangular panels. I wondered why he stopped doing it, because he only did it for about a year. But you got the controllers he's attacking Iron Man. He's also using all the devices that were in the house that were there to help him before he got his powers to get to try to get Iron Man. And Iron Man's going, wow, this guy's strong. He can't even stagger the guy. He's hit him with his fists and his repulsor rays, and it didn't do anything to the controller. Now he's sending out through like a garbage chute, essentially, that was going to, controller figures he's shoot him up, but he was able to use his repulsors to blast through it and get out. But then the controller comes out, stops this train, because he plans on not just taking over all the people on this train, he's loading his Absorbitron on it. So he can bring it with him, because he needs to stay within range of it. And go to New York City and basically slap a disc on everybody in the city.
Yeah.
And that would make him like all powerful. There would be no way to stop him. And
no way.
So he loads his absorbitron onto the back of this train after stopping it and starts taking off for New York.
Yepper. He's heading for New York. And oh my God, what is he doing? He's standing in front of the train. This is really nice stuff right here.
Yeah.
Nice work.
And he also mentions that a little earlier with Iron Man when he's fighting him is that you can't just take these discs off of people. You can't just take them out of that absorbitron because it would cause them either death or brain damage. So he can't just go around and just take these discs off of people.
Right.
So it's not something that simple to stop him. And he can also, you kind of see that after he's done this, got these people on the train, he can also kind of control the people that he's put these discs on and use them as like slave workers.
Right.
He's got them loading stuff onto the train. He's got these people all loading all of his equipment onto it. And here we have Jasper Sitwell again. He's still working for S.H.I.E.L.D. And he mentions the ESP unit. If you've read the old S.H.I.E.L.D. stories, they had a unit of people with ESP powers and such that worked trying to find any sort of issues out there using their ESP powers. And they had these psychic abilities, and they could feel all this stuff that's going on with the controller. And that's why Sitwell manages to be there and sees this stuff happening with the train. And they know, they can figure out that he's trying to get to New York City, and his ESP people can do a psychic blast.
Yeah.
And the setup here is that, as he gets closer to New York, he'll come within range of the S.H.I.E.L.D. people, and they're going to zap him with a psychic blast once he gets into range, because he's endangering the whole city of New York. And Iron Man's sitting there saying, well, if you do that, it could kill or severely brain damage
on the train.
all the people that he's put into his discs and absorbitron.
Yeah.
And S.H.I.E.L.D. and Fury's going, well, yeah, but that's only so many people. I got to protect the whole city of New York. I don't have a choice. Once he gets into range, we're going to zap him with the psych blast. So that, of course, adds tension to the story, and that Iron Man's going to have to find some way to stop him before he gets to within range of this psychic blast that they're going to do. So he's got a limited amount of time to stop him. He's got to get to him before he even gets to New York. And then Controller, of course, he's already stopped Iron Man. I thought he was dead. Oh, well, this little landslide you're doing, that's not going to stop me. And he just throws it all out of the way and just gets going. So I'm not going to let this guy slow me down. He's just trying to stall me. I'm just going to hightail it to New York in the train. And of course, Iron Man comes back, and you have this little bit lengthy battle sequence here with hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
And he's got some other little goodies on the train, like this little molecular negatizer, whatever that is. It causes things to
be negative,
basically repel atoms to repel each other.
Right.
And Iron Man's just trying to do whatever he can. He's just stalling for time almost. He just keeps trying to bat him and not let up on him. And the controller's like, I know what you're doing. You're just trying to stall me. It's not going to work. I'm still, the train's still moving. Once I get to New York, this is all over. You can't hurt me. I'm, with all the people he's got under control, he's not really hurting him when he punches him. And even when he zaps him with his repulsor rays, it's just not doing anything to him.
Wow. Yep. He knocks him off the plane. Great action sequences here.
Yeah, big long action sequence. He's like, oh, I can see New York in the distance. Ha! See, he couldn't stop me. In fact, I made it so fast. I was going so fast. I made it in better time than I even thought.
Yes.
Wait a minute. But all the extra weight with my absorbitron and stuff, it shouldn't be that fast.
Wacko in the face.
And then he punches him. He's like, wait a minute. I'm feeling these blows. It's like, oh, yeah, that's right. Well, when I did that little landslide, Jasper Sitwell uncoupled the back cars of the train. And so your absorbitron's way back there. And now you're out of range of your absorbitron. So now you're getting weaker and weaker because you're farther away from it. And just as they're about to do the psi blast, the ESP people can actually do a projection of what they see. And they've seen that Iron Man's defeated the controller. So, of course, he doesn't have to do the psi blast. And, of course, then everything's all wonderful.
Yep. Excuse me.
It came through like the cavalry in the last rail of a John Wayne Western.
Yes. All wrapped up and baddie dispatched. Good stuff, though. Good, fun Marvel Comics stuff. Always adventure ahead, though. For Iron Man. I wonder who he really... Oh, wait. He's still Tony Stark. That's right.
Yeah. Why are you so grim? Yeah. Oh, I can't get you into trouble all the time. Even though I will, and you'll actually die in a later issue because of that.
He's starting to have they're doing that whole Spider-Man deal. We're not doing this one, but this is the next issue. So there she is again. This one, by the way, Johnny Craig did a vacationing. Johnny Craig did art for a vacationing Sam Rosen. Interesting art. That's pretty cool. Johnny Craig was been around a long time.
Oh yeah, yeah. And this was a good one for him to do. This that character is very it's fitting with the old EC horror comics. I mean that particular character that he did that story with. So
R4P17, hello there. Good to see you. And Picasso, what's up? Welcome. R4 says, yeah, you do. You have perks. Yeah, enjoy them. So yeah, those were fun, and again, I like stuff like that. You guys do just it's similar. You know what it's sort of like, because we've been reviewing. You've been reviewing these Ramita Spidey issues on Nick's channel on Friday nights, and those are so more involved and filled to the brim with plot threads that run forever. Just soap opera plot after subplot after subplot, relationship stuff here and there. And he's still one guy. It's called Spider-Man. The books, it's not like he's at that point he had some Spider-Verse crap or that kind of garbage. It's just Spider-Man. And yet he had this life of a college student. And so he does have an aunt. He has a job, all that stuff. So it's in relationships. So it's very busy. The book's always very busy. Tony Stark's comic of the similar era, which is not, this was 69, right? This is only a couple of years after those, only a few years after this, once reviewing on Friday nights of the Spider-Man. You can do stories like this a little bit, like, in other words, the hero villain dynamic is very similar to when Peter's fighting Vulture or whatever. But aside from this thing with Janice there, you do have sub characters. You do have some, supporting characters. It just doesn't seem not quite as maybe a few shades less complicated or filled up with soap opera stuff than Spidey at the time. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Spider-Man, he had more supporting characters than Iron Man, for sure. Yeah. And of course, at the time that we're looking at Spider-Man, he's got two girls that he's seeing in that. He's got Mary Jane and Gwen.
Yeah.
But he's also you've got all the people at the paper. You got Jameson, you had Boswell, Betty Brant, Ned Leeds, Robbie Robertson starts right around the time we're working in there. And then he's got Harry Osborn and Flash Thompson. He's got Aunt May. So he's got this huge supporting cast. Iron Man, we just saw the supporting cast in this. It was basically Jasper Sitwell and Janice Cord at this time, and that's kind of it. He didn't have a huge supporting cast. They did have. You did see Nick Fury at times in this because of the shield tie, but he didn't really have this big supporting cast. So his stories were not the same. And unlike Peter, who was he was still a teenager, he was a college student at the time we're looking at it on Nick's show. Stark is, he's an adult. And so he doesn't have all that sort of drama going on. He doesn't have multiple girls after him in that way. He does because he's rich, but he's not seeing a bunch of people that are regular characters. It's just at this point he's just seeing Janice, and as I mentioned, she's only in there for about 2 years. I think just under 2 years.
Yeah.
Sitwell's been there for a while. And he's in the book for another, I think he's on for another year or two almost, I think, after this story.
Yeah.
But it's more about most of the drama stuff with Stark had to do with his heart condition.
Right.
And how he's always got to, I got to, plug in before my heart gives out. So there wasn't interpersonal stuff going on like in Spider-Man. There's so much about relationships in that, whereas Iron Man, it's not. It's more about just his physical limitations, and then you'll have stuff going on with his company. It's more around his company than anything else.
Yes, it's.
So
in Spidey, there's definitely a lot of slice of life stuff in there. It's more relatable, I guess, to people since he's a college kid, and yet he's got the weight of the world as well. He's fighting on the streets, mostly street level stuff, unlike Iron Man, at least mostly. And then he's dealing with like all the common problems. That's what makes him different, and it's cool that these series are different. Again, Iron Man, as we saw a little slice of that tonight. His deals are usually these types of adventures where, yes, there's personal life involved, but he's also fighting some pretty highly sophisticated, technologically speaking, villains, and he's working with S.H.I.E.L.D. a lot and that kind of stuff. When he's not running around with the Avengers in that series, of course. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he also has a complicated life as well, and yet the stories are different. If you were buying Spidey and buying Iron Man, you were getting mostly pretty different types of stories. And at the same time, the FF was about family and exploration and fighting villains and stuff. So there's a different dynamic to that one. And Thor, it was dealing with gods and things usually and stuff like that. Hulk was always on the run. So they were all different. Daredevil was dealing with a business, dealing with the law and different things like that, and being a vigilante. So
he had a little bit of personal stuff with Karen Page that was going on for a while, and then he had to make up his second identity as his brother
Mike Murdoch,
which was goofy, but it was fun, and it made
a lot of people hated
different.
That.
Yeah,
I thought it was funny, but yeah, a lot of people hated it. I understand, and they got rid of it. He killed them off, right?
Yeah.
But so that also had a lot of soap opera in it. A little bit different from Spidey. So it's just interesting how they all, again, these books all dealt with personal lives and personal struggles, and yet they had to interweave that with fighting villains, and they all did it. So most of them did it very well. But reading this, and then reading those FFs that J-Man and I are reading, and Sean and I are reading, and then reading those Amazing Spider-Mans. Now these here, like I said, and those Legion comics that we're reading from the same era, just about. The FFs we're on are still toward the very close to the very beginning, a year or two in. This about 5 or 6 years out of that. 6, maybe almost 6 or 7 years away from that. The Spider-Man somewhere in the middle. The Legion ones that we're reviewing, they're like in the early 70s. So it's all around not too far off from each other. And it just leads me to conclude that all of them, for their whatever their flaws are, whatever their pluses or minuses are, it's just such a better time to read comics. They're all so much fun. You get involved in their stories, depending upon the issues. Obviously, not every issue is good. We even make fun of some of them in a fun way, and yet we love them.
Oh yeah,
it's so much
better.
There's
some cheesy ones. I mean, you're going to do one that I think is very goofy.
Oh, good Lord! J-Man already mentioned that one. Yes, the Infant Terrible.
Yes, not one of my favorites.
But we are getting it. Yeah, but we do have a classic, The Avengers, in it.
Yeah. It's just
all right, Ravenscroft.
Well,
Ravenscroft, have a good one, buddy.
Yeah, good night, Ravenscroft. Yeah, I mean, this is you say you're a Bronze Age baby. I'm a Silver Age baby. This was what I was buying.
Well, I was born in the Silver Age.
Yeah, but I was buying them at this time off the stand. Yeah. So yeah, I was reading these comics it was a tail end of the Silver Age. And the reprints the Marvel Tales and Marvel Collector's Item Classics were of the earlier Silver Age books that like you're doing now on J-Man's. That's the era of reprints I was reading for the FF.
Oh, yeah.
And then of course Marvel Tales, when I started getting those, was when they were reprinting the Robita series that we're talking about on Nick's show. So yeah, I'm a Silver Age baby. There's a lot of Bronze Age stuff, of course, that I like and love.
Oh man, I love them
this
both.
Is my this is the one that gets me as a Silver Age.
Oh, I would definitely say that the quality of the art and stories are better than the Silver Age. It's not when I say I'm a Bronze Age baby, I'm saying that's when I was just starting to get of age where I could go and buy comics and choose comics for myself. So when I say that, those are my years of, being young enough to pick out comics and then being enough to eventually to be able to go ride my bike to go get my comics, that sort of thing. And then started working in a comic shop in the Bronze Age. And they do have that affection for that, but I believe the best stuff, depending upon which company, I guess, like Marvel, clearly their best stuff is Silver Age. And it's not even close for me. On the other hand, DC, their Silver Age, while it's fun to look at, is not really as good as they started in the Bronze Age because they had to start making more interesting work because Marvel was making far more interesting work than they were.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a response. And so, like, for example, go ahead.
Oh, no, it's funny that I didn't realize it at the time, but like the first, I bought DC's originally. The first comics I bought, of course, were like the Batman TV show was on. So the first superhero comic I bought was a Batman.
Oh, yeah.
And I got like a Superman adventure comics. I got a Challengers comic, and none of them really grabbed me. The only one that I got that I kept buying, and I think it is the first book that I really started buying because it was a month before I got Fantastic Four, was Beware the Creeper.
Oh,
and
yeah,
who did that? Ditko,
yeah.
And I didn't dawn on me that this is Ditko that did Spider-Man until
good Ditko.
I didn't see Spider-Man Ditko until years later. And even when I did that, I kind of went, "Hey, wait a minute." And the other one I bought was Hawk and Dove. I bought the first 2 issues of that, and then I didn't buy it again. And I'm like, why didn't I buy more of those? Yeah. Oh, it's because he only did the first 2 issues of it.
See, that was an example of them. Ditko left obviously way before Kirby did. And by the way, obviously this is after the fact, but I love the other, the best comics were Marvel in that era, but the Tower comics for the Thunder Agents were really good. And then the best DC comics were when Ditko, left, and then Tower kind of folded. And so they started letting him do some of the off the wall stuff like Creeper and Hawk and Dove. It didn't last, but it was the most interesting thing DC had been doing. In terms of something different, then they bring Kirby over. They start doing that. The Legion of Superheroes grew up. We did show number 42 the other. So we've been reviewing these for a long time. We're going to be a long way to go on our Legion reviews. Yeah, because we do only
You're
3 a month.
deep into that.
And yes, and we're going to be doing it for a longer time till we get to the end of in 1989. But we're just now starting when after 42 shows, just now when they have their own title. They did not have their own title until 1972 or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Superboy starring the Legion of Superheroes. So, and it's grown up to the point, and these are the Carrie Bates, Dave Cockrum issues. We're about to get to the Carrie Bates, Mike Grell issues, which are really cool. And even Coletta doesn't completely destroy the ones he eats in Grell. And it's grown up by leaps and bounds. Jim Shooter made it grow up a little bit. Carrie Bates has, and it was a tough slog early on because I hadn't read those in a long time. The older ones, when I have the reprints and stuff. But man, we're so excited about that. So now we're in the salad days, going to the best era of Legion of Superheroes, and that's going to be for a long time. Not always great, but a lot of great stuff. And the salad days of FF each week, both of those. I mean, that's so much fun we're having.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I still have a lot of I've got a pretty good long run of FFs still from. Well, I have the Mad Thinker story from like 68 to 71, and I think 72, and then I have 74 through I think 99.
Oh man,
because those are like the first one I ever bought off the stands was 76.
Nice.
And I think I traded that one for my Spider-Man number 42, which I showed off at Nick's. And so like 77 was the earliest issue I had for a long time, but that was the FF was the comic that I made sure to buy every month if I could.
Yeah.
There's a couple of odd ones that I missed, but that was the one I was trying to get. Second priority was Spider-Man. Third was Iron Man, and fourth was the Hulk. But those were the 4 titles I picked up from the beginning. The Hulk, after quite a while, I dropped that one because I just wasn't getting into the stories at that time. But the other 3 I kept getting for just years and years.
Greetings, Aldous, by the way. Aldous on the farm just off Oriole Lane. That's a title there, boy. That's a handle right there, isn't it? It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping into Clobberin Times. Welcome. So, yeah, all those titles, man. But no, it's just so much fun doing these reviews because you're just going back to times, flawed or not, it was just a better time all around. The stories, because they had one job, and that was to tell a story to make you want to pick it up as a kid and spend money on it, which means they wanted you to buy it. They weren't trying to tell you don't buy it if you don't like our stuff. They wanted you to buy it, and that means you got some enjoyment out of it. You got characters that you love, hopefully with a fun story, and you got to look at hopefully really nice art. Pretty simple stuff.
Yeah, and the covers were very important too.
Oh, covers were as well, yeah.
If you had a gorilla on the cover, it was an instant sale.
I said DC and their gorillas, man. DC love the gorillas.
I can't think of Marvel ones with gorillas on the cover.
Nah, not particularly. No, except for me, like
other than
the Red Ghost.
Yeah, or there's some old Tales of Suspense before the Iron Man when it was just the goofy monster stuff. There was some of those.
Oh yeah, there was a gorilla here and there, but DC was obsessed with gorillas.
But the covers on the comics back then, I just thought they were just much more eye grabbing than what they did after that. There are certainly great covers that were done in the Bronze Age, but they were just so much more memorable from the Silver Age to me.
I guess I just love them both because I could look at old comic covers every day. And there's something about, I love the design of a Bronze Age cover, but I love them all because they're just beautiful art and there's just something about them. So when I walk into a comic shop, when I see old covers, I'm happy. And if I start like walking down, see nothing but old covers, whether it is gold and silver or bronze, they only get bad for me when I start, hey, what's up, Sentai Ranger Donnie?
Hey, Donnie.
They only get bad for me when they start getting into the modern ones. John Platt. Hello there, John Platt. Welcome, buddy. When I start getting into the and it's funny, I don't know if you were here last night when or was it? Sorry, Monday night. Mark was our good buddy Mark D was here. We were talking about we were specifically on the topic of variant covers because he was showing.
Oh yes,
we were talking about that, and he went to the order form like for the new month's crap or whatever.
Yes, and, I saw
that. You're like any given comic now has 12 or 100 or not 100, 12, 10, 12, whatever variant covers. And I'm like, you know what? Because comics are since garbage, comics are trash anyway, and I don't have to worry about it. I'm so glad that's new. That's a now thing. I'm so glad that was never even an issue when we were kids. When we were kids, look, there was a cover, and that's that.
Yeah, they didn't need to do gimmicks to sell you their comics back then.
Let's be fair. If Jim Shooter had thought of it in the 80s, he might have started it. But who knows if Mort Weisinger or some other guy, if they thought of it, probably the company probably said, "What do you mean 2 covers? What is wrong with you?" The only thing closest you got to that was getting an accidental double cover.
The double covers, yes.
Did you ever get a double cover? I got one or two.
I have one. It's my Machine Man number 19, I think.
Nice.
It's the last one of that series, I think.
I got an issue of Detective.
Doing it.
I got an issue of Detective, but the weirdest thing I got was I remember buying I'll never forget because it was an important issue. I think it was Flash 284. I may be getting the number wrong. Excuse me if I am, because it was the death of Iris Allen, right? I didn't know that at the time. I knew something was going to happen, and got home. I don't know what it was. Why I forgot. I just had to have it because I was buying the Flash, and I got home and I opened it up, and on the inside it's a Marvel Tales issue with a Flash cover. And because back then Curtis, they Sparta, Illinois, or whatever it was.
Yeah, Sparta.
They were printing both Marvel and DC there.
Yeah,
and it was so weird.
I miss the days when we had comics from Sparta.
Yep, Curtis Circulation.
Yeah, the newsprint comics. They started doing all the fancy Baxter and Mando paper and all that stuff, and they became much more expensive.
They did. At first, I kind of liked it. Some of the Baxter, not the flexi graphic crap.
Yeah, but they don't have the same smell though after they get old, like the newsprint comics do.
No, that's true. But still, these variants, it makes me sick. If you can't settle on one cover, or what do you want? And again, it used to be, at least it was a big event, maybe. Even still, I'm kind of, but it was like maybe on the big event somethings, but now it's everything. Yeah.
The only acceptable one I found was like they had like some of those holograph covers. I think they did some regular
hologram
ones
covers,
that were cheaper. So if you couldn't afford to get the more expensive ones. And then they had the nice triptych cover of X-Men #1 when they brought that one out.
Right.
And the 5 different covers. At least they formed a picture, so it made some sense.
Right.
That. And it was, of course, being in the business at the time was nice because I would sell 5 times as many copies of it because everybody was buying every one of them practically.
Glag's right though. The old Whitman. I remember the old Whitman reprints. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Those. Mm-hmm.
They were just all they did was change the logos on the covers and stuff. Ezra Goldstein, shalom, my friend. But Aldous says newsprint is still special. Alterna carrying the torch for it today is also Alterna is using newsprint, are they? I know who Alterna is, Peter Semeny, and they're pretty cool. They're a comic shop that makes comics. I don't know if you're familiar with them. D-Bud?
No. Not familiar with those, actually.
A comic shop. I'm not sure what the comic shop is. Maybe Aldous knows. Up north somewhere, there's a gentleman named Peter Semeny who has got a bunch of creators together, and he has a bunch of comics that he's putting out. for more affordable, and they're all new. And he said, and he just doesn't, not agenda stuff, just comics made by people that want to make good comics. And I haven't read them personally, but I've seen him talk about it on his podcast, on his YouTube channel, and a lot of people seem to enjoy him. And I guess he's using newsprint. So
no, that's great. Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Well,
Good
yeah,
stuff.
that's the thing I lament about comics is that they catered so much to the adult collector and to the direct market that you don't have the same like entry point that we did. I mean, like I was getting my comics at drugstores and grocery stores, and the magazine racks and grocery stores. I was getting some of them, and they had such a wide variety of books. You had superhero comics, you had westerns, you had Archies and Harvey comics. I mean, I was buying, of course, I was buying Harvey comics for a couple years into my superhero comic time because I enjoyed them. I was still, a little kid, so I enjoyed them. And my sister, if she came with me, she'd buy like Richie Riches or Little Lot or something like that, and I'd read those too. But they were, they were a way for young kids to get into comics, and they were written in a way. I mean, certainly with the Marvels I was getting. I mean, Spider-Man, say, I didn't need to really get what was happening with the romantic stuff, because I was more interested in all the action going on with Spider-Man. Because like those Romita books we've been reviewing, there's tons of action in those.
Yeah.
And there's a few pages of interpersonal things and stuff going on that I wasn't picking up when I was 7 or 8 years old, but I still could enjoy the comic. It didn't matter. And as I got older, of course, I was able to enjoy all the other stuff in it. So they had such broad appeal, and they just went more towards the adult reader as time went on, to the point where I couldn't see anyone under the age of, say, 13 even having any interest in the comics, because a lot of them didn't. I still don't understand how X-Men became so popular years after like the best part of the new X-Men, like
I know. I don't know.
Burn stuff. That was great stuff.
That was the best.
It became so popular.
Right.
But
it's
after Byrne left, it was just Claremont. It got so angsty. There wasn't as much action.
Yeah, I agree.
It also got kind of repetitive to me, and I'm like,
I don't see it anyway. I don't understand it.
Yeah, and it stayed, and I understand how it stayed so popular, because of like it's not. It must have been the cartoon.
Weird.
I don't know.
Something about it, because
didn't read that way.
It's something about it, because New Teen Titans did very well till Perez left it. Then people just kind of left it alone.
That was the exception for me with DC Comics. I didn't read DC Comics after the Creeper ended. I did not read DC Comics until the New Teen Titans came out, and that was it was Wolfman Perez, and they were doing it in a Marvel-like way. I think that's probably why. But I mean that was a fantastic series
for a good while.
Yeah.
Long while. Aldous says Altern is a publisher, all on newsprint, classic stylized stuff, a true comic fan. That's Peter Cimenti. Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah. Hey, Narada and Axamanda Bear, what's up, buddy? But let me answer Ezra real quick, because I promised I'm going to answer before. Did I watch Boom? Unfortunately, I did watch Boom, Ezra. And I know some fans, inexplicably to me, have liked it. Just to give you my quick take on it, I did not like it. I thought it was pap. Because I think people, even if, I guess, okay, is it worse than Space Babies or Devil's Cord? No, but what is? So it may not be that level horrible, but it's pretty horrible to me in every other way, especially since when you don't have the doctor, because the doctor's horrible. He's not the doctor. And it's, that's in game right there. It's over when you don't have a doctor. and they don't have one. Their doctor's horrible. So to me, I can't stand Shooty. So that's the deal breaker for me. But I was dumb enough to sit through it. And so, yeah. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, Sentai Downey. He says, I myself am skipping Dr. What the Juice, but I have no issues with those who aren't. I'm only kind of doing it so I could talk about it. I've been a fan of that. I've been a Doctor Who fan for 42 plus years, and it's tough to let go. I want to at least be able to criticize it, and that's why I talk about it. And that's not a good excuse, but that's where I am. But yes, I thought it was putrid garbage, just so you know, Ezra.
I will not watch it. I
don't blame anyone. You shouldn't watch it. No,
I saw the first Capaldi episode, and I didn't really.
I didn't like that either.
And I think I watched one other one, which was the Mummy on the Train one.
That was okay.
And that was it. That's all I've seen since Capaldi became the Doctor. And I never saw any of Jodie. I'm not going to watch any of this stuff. It all sounds god awful. And
it's trash.
It's not my Doctor.
It's trash. The whole point about that show, though, is the Doctor's got to be there first. In other words, he could be in a crappy story and you still walked away. Yeah, you watched an episode that wasn't very good. It's just like if you read a Spider-Man comic that was no good, but Spider-Man was there, and then you don't want you to read it again. This doesn't even have the Doctor anywhere close. He's dead. For me, he's been dead since Matt Smith. So
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, same for
Matt Smith had a lot of mediocre stories, but he was still great as the Doctor. Capaldi's problem was not him. Great actor. I just
Bad
think
writing.
He was poorly written. And I kept wanting him to be good because I liked him so much. It just never happened. Some people disagree. Some people like him. They'll admit it's not the best, but they think they like him enough that they'll give some stories a pass. I don't. But a whole new level of horrific garbage is Jodie. And I thought I sat through it. But I was pretty sure you couldn't be worse. And now I'm eating those words because Shooty's worse. But they're doing it on purpose. Anyway, sorry about that, Ezra. I just wanted to answer your question there. We're not really talking Doctor Who tonight. In fact, what was I going to ask you? I was going to show you. Okay, that the month of the comic we covered tonight. Got some pretty interesting stuff out there on the stands. I would have bought a lot of comics that month, and so would you. I think maybe you wouldn't. No.
What's this? This is.
I would have bought.
Well, I think you're a little. I think that's a cover date, not the.
No, this is on sale date.
On sale, yeah, because it was books we were covering were January and February.
Books we were covering. Oh, I went with wait a minute. Went one backwards here. May, actually, January. Sorry, I did get the number wrong. Let's see, January 69. Oops, my bad. Okay, so.
Well, I do that too sometimes. Cover dates and sale dates.
No, I got the wrong month. In this case, it was the month I got wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, so January, would you buy Abbott Costello number 7?
Actually, I did buy that one.
You did?
I had that, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, there you go.
I don't know why I picked that up, but I got that one.
Nice. Sentai said, me imitating Robo Knight from Power Mega Force. Oh, okay. Thanks a lot. I welcome disagreement. So it says John Downey. Well, I understand, buddy. John Platt says Shooty Gaddy is an awful doctor. He's not even a doctor to me. Can't hold a candle to the past doctors such as William Hartnell and Tom Baker. To me, he's not even in the same. He's just not. He's not a doctor. Nor is Jodie. So. Yeah, I don't know. I might not get that Abbott Costello as much as I love the movies, but I would definitely get this Action Comics reprint of all these Supergirl stories. I get that. Action Comics. Oh man, look at Neil Adams cover. Another Neil Adams cover. I think I have this Adventure Comics with the Legion in it with a Neil Adams cover. Let's see what else we got. Oh,
That.
What about Jerry Lewis? DC's
No.
Jerry Lewis comic.
I just watched the Jerry Lewis movie, actually.
Which one?
A couple of days ago. Boing
Yeah.
Boing. Him and Tony Curtis.
Have you ever seen Artists and Models?
No.
You know about that one?
No.
Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis, and with Shirley MacLaine. A movie about the similar, that was a reference to the Frederick Wortham witch hunts.
Oh,
Jerry
yeah.
Lewis plays a young man who claims that comic books made him quote the R word. This was a propaganda piece made in conjunction with Hollywood, trashing comic books. Dean Martin's an artist who's slumming it and can't get any work, so he uses for his models, he uses the story ideas coming out of Jerry Lewis's head and writing and just to make a quick buck doing sleazy comic books because they're all sleazy to these people. And what's her name plays the model.
And yet Jerry Lewis had his own title for over 100 issues.
Yep. And yet he had his own title for DC Comics. Done after, I think it was after that. But yeah, how about that, huh? Crazy move. And there's a scene where he flat out says, "Comic books made me the R word," rebutted. Let's see. So what? Well, yeah, it does. Yeah, Gwag. It does apply to modern comics. So you getting Jerry Lewis or no?
No.
Nah. Little Archie?
Maybe.
Just not even
I did get that Amazing Spider-Man though.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
I still have it.
No question, you're getting Spider-Man. Of course,
you have that one.
Angel and the Ape. I know you have to have that.
Yeah.
Anthro. I was almost tempted, but I got to get this Aquaman though.
Never read it. Aquaman. I like the cartoon.
Yeah, but Jim Aparo Aquaman. I
wasn't into the comic.
Cardi cover, but I got to have the Jim Aparo, Steve Skates Aquaman. Batman, yes, for me. Look at that. There's that creeper with that Neil Adams cover.
That was the last.
The Gil Kane cover.
Yeah, that was the last issue of the original series. And Ditko, he's credited as the penciler, but he might have done only a few pages. And
so was Jack Sparling.
Yeah. And there's possibly some Neil Adams interior art in there too when you look at it.
Yes.
Some of it looks very Neil Adams.
In a long time.
But I bought that and I still have it.
Yeah. An interesting Jerry Lewis movie was Visit to a Small Planet. I remember that. The Billy the Kid. I got a buddy of mine who loved that comic. Or the reprints, the Charlton reprints later. Binky and his buddies. Binky's buddies. No.
Nah.
Yeah, what's up, Doc? Big's buddy. Binky buddy, bugs. Captain America, I've got to have, naturally.
I think I have that one.
How about Captain
I think
Marvel?
I still have that because I think Iron Man popped up in it, but he's only a cameo, so I might not have kept that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I don't think I have it now. Yeah, it's not in my list.
Aquaman is the long box. Is the long box at the LCS? You hide books you want to grab next time. Yeah, but I still love Aquaman, especially Jim Aparo Aquaman. Captain Marvel, were you buying that ever? No.
Yeah.
I love that old uniform. And Iron Man's was an issue.
14, yeah. And I wound up picking up those as back issues later.
Another Captain Savage. It's like 3 captains in a row.
I had.
And it was, it's Captain America 112, Captain Marvel 12, Captain Savage 12. Weird. That's strange stuff right there. Casper.
Yeah, those were the last books I picked up before I sold my collection was the war books. I got the Captain Savages, which was easy because it's not a big series, but Nick Fury and his Howling Commandos was the last title that I collected that I had to go back and get back issues for before I sold my collection. And I still have some of those. In fact, I still have the one I first bought, which was issue number 7, where Nick Fury gets court-martialed.
Niceness. You want some uncle? Yes, I love the Aquaman cartoon. Let's see.
Got them all
Cheyenne
on
Kid,
DVD.
Creepy. Then there's Daniel Boone was a big man. Was an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. Daredevil number 50.
My uncle worked on Daniel Boone. He was
Really?
a story editor, yeah. He worked for Disney for a while. Actually
This
got
was-
to tour the Disney studios there on
Wow.
in Burbank.
Nice.
Well,
Nice.
I only lived like 3 or 4 blocks away from Disney Studios when I lived in Burbank.
Wow. Nice. That's cool. Crap. Oh, yeah, Roy Thomas. Barry Windsor Smith before he had Windsor in his name. I happen to know this.
Yeah.
This is when it was Barry Smith, but yeah.
Yeah, and his art is totally different in this than when it became in, say,
Yeah.
Conan.
Well, he was basically, when he first started, he was kind of just doing Kirby.
Yeah.
Debbie, Dennis the Menace in Mexico. Oh, it's like this Batman cover. Oh, crap. Adam's cover. Oh, man, oh, man.
Wait a minute. Don't miss Devil Kids.
You're not getting that, are you?
Oh, yes, I am.
Are you sure?
That was the Harvey character I got, was Hot Stuff.
Of course. There you go. I can respect that. I love these old weird covers on Dr. Solar, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy covers. Probably
Yeah,
George Wilson.
I remember picking those up. I'd see those great covers on like those and the Star Trek comics. And then
Yeah.
I open them up and I go, oh, the art doesn't really match that. So I
No,
couldn't pick 'em up.
Usually didn't. I mean, this is always like this cover. Barry Smith, before, Ditko interior, but got Barry Smith cover on and Struck Destroyer.
Yeah, that's the
Brian.
yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the reprint from the
It's reprint stuff.
Spider-Man annual. Yeah.
Yep. And of course,
That,
I know you Dragon Wheels. No, but
No.
there you
but
go.
that-
FF 85.
Yes, and this I got the last month I was in Burbank. The problem is 86 I never saw in the stands. Like
This
the
is
number one book I wanted to get when I first found an old comic book store was Fantastic Four number 86, because if you go from 85 to 87, it's like, what happened? It was like the big giant action issue.
Yeah.
And so the day I found a comic book store, I looked for that issue number 86 and I got it. I've waited for 5 years to find that thing.
Oliver Melamonte. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, this is when they were owned by a company called Perfect Film and Tile or something. When they were moderated comics, but they were what do they call it again? They were called, there you go. Perfect Film and Chemical Corp owned Marvel Comics. Some said that was a front for the CIA. But that could just be rumor. Oliver Melamonte.
And this story was a Kirby's take on The Prisoner.
Yes. Yes, it is. And of course, he did the Prisoner comic later.
Yeah, which I did not see The
published.
Prisoner until about 9 years after this came out.
Right. And the thing is, this comic came out right after. Immediately after just about The Prisoner. So Oliver says, oh no, Tom King is teaming up with Dan Parent to write an Archie comic storyline called Archie the Decision. Here's where Archie has to decide if he either wants to be with Betty or Veronica. That's a joke, right? I think you're kidding. It sounds like something Tom King would write, but
He might not be joking.
He might not be. Sounds like something they would do, doesn't it? Fighting Army, Fighting Marines, Flash. Yeah, buddy. I'm getting Flash. You're getting Casper, right?
Yes.
Of course. Are you getting Ghost Manor? Just kidding.
Nah.
Are you getting Girls Romance? No.
Maybe.
Really?
He's doing interior art.
Doesn't say, but I would. If that's if it's DC, could be some, anybody. It could be like Irv Novick, could be like the reprints probably. It could be, I don't know. Reprints of Ramita stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Never know.
Old stuff. Got to have my Green Lantern here, though. Gil Kane Green Lantern.
Gil Kane, yeah.
Love his Green Lantern.
Green Lantern does his ring thing. Is that anything like the Thing doing his Thing ring?
Not at all. This is a rare some bitch right here.
Oh, I would have
Like
got that if I'd have seen that one.
A buddy of mine has this one. Not easy to find either.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Anonymous Gamer, what's up? Good to see you. Let's see. House of Mystery. Incredible Hulk 114.
Oh, I
Sandman. I love this issue.
I would have got, I got that later, of course. The first Hulk I picked up was 112. And actually, my sister picked it up for me. I was sick. And she bought it off the stand at the 7-Eleven and brought it home.
Nice. Nice.
But I didn't pick up another issue until 119.
And there's our one we reviewed tonight.
Yep.
Iron Man 12, Jughead Jokes, just married. Look at the Creeper in Justice League.
I should have bought that one. It had the Creeper in it.
Yeah. Dick Dillon art. But look at the Land of the Giants. I know you should get that one.
I wasn't a Land of the Giants fan. My buddy is. In fact, I got him the DVD set when it came out, but I wasn't a fan of that.
Cool,
I was more of the. I watched the Time Tunnel and Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea.
Yes.
Those were my favorites.
But Time Tunnel, I love Time Tunnel.
And I was picking this title up. I was picking these
Marvel
up.
Collector's Item Classics.
Classics. Yep.
Nice.
Getting those.
Yes, sir, Bob. Let's see. Mighty Marvel Westerns. Billy the Model? No? Yeah, maybe.
No. I
Shield,
would now, but
yeah, Frank Springer Shield. This is a nice cover for Frank Springer.
Yeah.
Yep, I like that.
He's trying to do a Steranko, though. He is. The way he's doing it.
Oh, he definitely is. Steranko's long gone.
Yeah,
we're not long gone, but he
can't really do
Sergeant Fury.
The Peacemonger
is one of your favorite kind of covers.
Oh yeah, I used to have that. But the Peacemonger, you just did the Hate Monger one, which had Nick Fury in it.
I would like to see the two of them fight. The Peacemonger and the Hate Monger. Be like Hawk and Dove, though. One of them wouldn't fight.
Yeah. It's Silver Surfer. It still pains me that Silver Surfer. I almost bought Silver Surfer #1 on the stand, and the reason I didn't is because I dropped the quarter that my mother gave me to buy it, and it rolled away. I don't know where it went, so I didn't pick it up, and I never bought Silver Surfer until issue 12.
That is a bummerooski.
But I couldn't find the thing.
There's my favorite Silver Surfer, says Joe Dog. Yes, sir. One of my favorites. My favorite Superboy covers 154. Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, my. I wish I had that one. I think J-Man might have that one. I have to ask him. Frank Robbins wrote it. Irv Novick cover. Wow. I'm blind.
Haney-like character.
It does. Yes, it does. Wally Wood inking Bob Brown. You kidding me? I want this one. I wanted it anyway, but now I don't think I have it. So, wow, it's an interesting cover.
He looks like Plastic Man on that cover with the face
and
the big glasses.
I'd be going, you sure you're blind? You're Superboy. You sure you're not using your X-ray vision right now to look at that girl standing behind me? I don't know, dude. I like this. I always like this. This Adam Strange cover. I love Adam Strange. He's a bad mother.
That's one of the old Silver Age DC titles that I really love. The
Adam Strange. Yeah.
Adam Strange series in Mystery in Space. I love that one. I can read that one all the time.
Nice stuff. And there's Joe Dog's Teen Titans. He's a Teen Titans fan. Great Nick Cardy covers on Teen Titans, not to mention Cardy interiors usually. This one actually written in pencil by Neil Adams with Cardy inking him. I must have it. I don't think I have this one. This was Jericho.
Different Jericho.
No, yeah, not the same Jericho. I must have it. Top Cat, Turok, Son of Stone, yeah. Casper, you might get, right?
Cover. Oh, Casper, yes.
Yeah.
I'm also getting that Scamp.
Oh, really? Okay, there you go. Yeah. Now, I was so. Well, wait a minute. Wild Wild West, I need to get that.
Oh yeah. Love the
that
TV show.
That was a great show. And then, of course, I don't usually get these new Wonder Woman comics. I didn't like them that much because she wasn't wearing a damn costume. And this is before she got this Emma Peel outfit.
Yeah. That was very bizarre.
It was weird. Then there, of course, World's Finest, I would have to have that. And then this X-Men, I would have to have that. Barry Smith. There you go. Yes, definitely.
I used to have that.
Oh, wow.
And then all the X-Men.
What about
Yogi Bear?
You want Yogi Bear? Okay.
Yep.
We'll
Yogi Bear. What
add
was
the
it?
card.
Yogi Bear, Bugs Bunny, and Batman were the first comics I bought.
No Young Love though.
Could be. Depends on who's doing the art.
Interesting cover.
Yeah.
Dick Giordano.
It's a good art in some of those.
Oh my goodness! And then there's the second issue we reviewed. Was cover dated. What was cover dated? Wow! This comic was There you go. I thought it was monthly. Some of them weren't bad.
Yeah, you get that. Yeah, they're there's some bi-monthlies in there.
Well, now we got Abbott Costello. You're not getting that one, right?
No, I didn't get that one. I got that other one. I don't know why.
I got to have Action Comics.
See, these are all. I didn't get any of these comics.
No, right now we've traveled back in time. Though.
Now I would get these. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we're traveling back in time.
I was crushed by the fact that I missed all these comics.
Yeah. That's what the spinner rack time machine is for.
Yes.
To go back in time and buy what we want.
Pains me to be reminded that I missed out on some of these issues at the time.
Yeah. I gotta have this one. We reviewed this one a while back. Nice Adams cover. Win Mortimer, this was the Win Mortimer Jack Abel era of the art. Now this one you have, and if you didn't, I would be mad at you.
I have it now. Yes.
Right. Well, as long as you have it now, I mean, expect you to. As long as you have it now. So,
but Nick's the one who should get one.
Yes, because he's rock by the sucker. I'll chase you to the ends of the earth. Wow. Well, Gwag has a lot of these. I hear you there, Gwagger. But I always like that Shocker issue. Yep. Oh man, Adam and Hawkman. I would have to have this. I don't have it anymore. I have sold many copies, but Joe Kubert cover.
This is one of those ones that they didn't get to when they were reprinting books and their archives or their other. I mean, it's just DC's just so maddening with their reprints. They'll start so many things and never finish them.
Yes, sir. There you go. That's greatness right there.
I still have that.
Oh my. Gene Colan didn't do a lot of Avengers though, did he?
Yeah, no, he just had this little bit of a run here, but not too many of them.
I might get a Bonanza comic just it's only what is it? 15 cents. And since we're from the future, this is nothing. Yeah. Teen Titans for you there, Joe Dog, on a Bob Haney classic right here. Yes, this is a Bob Hanier. Yeah, buddy. The shot cover. I know. I actually I think still have this somewhere. Captain Action, which of course was a Gil Kane cover.
Canes,
I think he did some. Remember, it's based on the toy. He did the art, and even the story of this.
Never had the toy, but I remember it.
I got. They did. They did re-releases in the '90s
Of
Captain Action, and I got a bunch of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They did. What was it? They did like Flash Gordon, both versions of the Lone Ranger, Tonto, Green Hornet, Kato, and various others back in the '90s when they re-released it. They did Captain Action, the Action Boy, different stuff like that, and I went nuts buying all those. Still got them. Oh man, oh my goodness, Steranko cap.
Steranko, yep.
Oh, good Lord. Absolute greatness. Even if Bucky's wearing green. And there you go. Some Frank Springer or not. It's pretty cool. Captain Marvel. I like that green Marvel outfit. I know it's kind of hokey. Kind of like it. Daredevil. Got to have Daredevil in that DC special. Daredevil cover. Barry Smith again.
Yeah, he's still doing that.
Yeah.
It's kind of jarring after reading Gene Colan up to this point, and
right,
having these Barry Smith ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Well, I was just looking at that Brave and Bold issue this morning. Oh, cool, Glad. Nice. So yeah, then look at Neil Adams' cover on that special. All reprints, of course. Those big DC specials and giants and stuff. This is one of the cool Doc Strange covers. Colon. Remember that dumb head cover he had?
Yeah.
You don't have a figure with that.
Oh,
they actually did one.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw it of all places a good number of years ago at this Disney store that had this really elaborate, like special, figure of Doctor Strange that had that head. And I said, "Is that the head for the?" Oh, it is. Holy crap! So I got it. Why? I just
did it come with an extra head without the?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. Yeah.
But still,
there's that FF86.
There you go.
Uh,
Total greatness.
I pined for that book for years.
Oh man, I love this. This is so great.
And that's my favorite FF story because it's the prisoner takeoff.
Of course, it is great. And I haven't read that in a long time either. Of course, we're going to be reading it soon.
Yes.
Look at that, man. I love these old covers like this. Flash, Ross Andrew, even like these old Flash Gordon covers. Even though I wasn't big on Pat Boyette, a lot of people liked him. Not a lot, but I knew this guy that was going around trying to collect everything ever done by Pat Boyette, and really he wasn't that, to be honest. Well, anyway, classic Gil Kane cover right here. It almost looks like another costume cover. Spider-Man No More, Green Lantern.
Yeah. It's just not on a trash can, that's all.
No. So, there you go. So, anyway, Gunsmoke. We'll heard to these.
Hot stuff. Don't pass up the hot stuff.
Okay, we'll get hot stuff. You want this one, right?
I
bet you have it. Do you have it?
Actually, no, I didn't get that one.
But now that you're at the Spinneret comic shop.
Those are hard to get. They're
Really?
hard to find those things, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Collectible wise, they're not. You don't see them floating around in comic shops as back issues.
Isn't it hilarious how almost every cartoon, for example, you got Jetsons, you got the Lone Ranger TV show,
TV shows,
Mars World, they all had
yeah.
comics, man.
Man from Uncle, yeah.
Man from Uncle, Marvel Superheroes.
All licensed.
I mean, there was so many TV tie-ins. Look how many TV tie-ins. Just want to, I mean, just for the hell of it. That was, I believe, Abbott Costello was based on the cartoon TV show.
Yeah.
One. Oh, sort of. You could almost say that Roadrunner comic was.
Oh yeah.
Beetle,
I mean, they had the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show.
Blondie, Bonanza.
Captain Action's a toy tie-in.
Captain Action's a
Plenty
toy
commercials for
tie-in.
those, yeah.
Right. Korak and Tarzan are book tie-ins,
Tarzan,
really?
Yeah.
Those are tie-ins. Everything's a tie. I mean,
Flash
Flintstones.
Gordon, licensed, Flintstones.
Right,
yeah.
Flash Gordon, Flintstones. Gunsmoke, High Adventure Heroes. That's Hanna-Barbera.
Yep.
That's crazy. Jetsons. Jungle Jim. That's a strip, I think. Audrey TV Fun Time. Little Audrey.
Well, in the Archies, they had the Archie cartoons in the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, true, they did.
Which were,
yeah.
I mean, comics came first, of course, but they were a TV. That's when you really saw like Sabrina and such, and Josie.
Lone Ranger. Man from Uncle. Love it. There's Marvel Tales, yeah. Oh man, more Barry Smith Shield cover.
Still trying to copy Steranko.
Well, yeah. Well, sure. Let's see. They had a more newspaper tied in, the Phantom, you know. Popeye the Sailor Man. Ripley's Believe It or Not. Get me Ripley. Yeah, Believe It or Not. I have that.
They just don't do this stuff anymore with them. You've got the cartoon tie-ins, TV tie-ins,
books, TV shows,
definitely for kids, like the Harvey comics and such, and they just don't make those anymore.
Tom and Jerry. Nope. All the Disney ones. Swiss Family Robinson comic book. You know, it's just amazing all the stuff they did. Yeah, so fun stuff. So yeah, I always like looking at the comics that came out that month of when we reviewed. Because it's always fun and sun. Oliver Bellamont said, liked Yogi Bear a lot when I was watched the cartoons and read the comics. He always outsmarts Ranger Smith as Yogi gets every picnic basket when people visit Jellystone Park. Yeah, that Ranger Smith was a jerk-off, wasn't he? What a jerk-off he was.
Never boo. Let's get some picnic basket.
Screw the Ranger.
Yeah.
Yes, sirree, Bob.
But Yogi, Mr. Ranger's not going to like that.
Yes, Donnie. Woody the Woodpecker. I can't do it.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Well, they had the Harvey tunes. They had cartoons for all the Harvey characters.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it worked the other way, too.
Famous cartoons from Terry Toons. Did you ever get that? We used to get that in the afternoon with one of our, where they would just show a bunch of the Terry Toons cartoons.
Well, they showed the Terry Toons, yeah. Yeah, they got those on. I think
it was a special
on DVDs.
It was some kind of. We had like one of these cable channels. We had cable earlier than anybody for some weird reason because of where we live. Mark D with the C was the man.
Into the chat.
Yeah, pop in if you feel like it. Dude. It's up to you. But
since Mark D is here, and we know he's the toy man.
Yeah.
Now might be a good time to show off the toys I got this last week.
It's show off time. Why didn't you tell me? Oh, we could have done that whenever you're ready. Yeah, you did. Oh, my goodness.
That's the perfect time because Mark's here.
I want that.
I was expecting Mark to show up eventually, and that was the time.
I was too.
This is the model. They call it the Model 2 armor, which it is. This the gold armor.
That is.
Which is not the same as his first armor, just painted gold. It's different because the original armor didn't have like the skirt on it.
So when was this?
They did this. When did this come out? Or
no. I mean, Where does
This-
it fit in?
This was immediately after. This was in Tales of Suspense 40.
Oh, the very
Uh,
second one.
Yeah, because the first one
mean, the
has
very-
the gray armor,
And this is the
and
first.
and it did
yellow
not
one.
have a skirt. Yeah, the gold one, he changes the armor in for Tales of Suspense 40 to make
Right.
it more form fitting, so he could fit it under his clothes and all of that with the chest plate and such. But it also had like this skirt on it, which the original armor did not have.
Ah,
The gray one does not. So this is they've kind of made this accurate in that it's different. They did one of the gray armor and it does not have this skirt. So like, oh, they did it correctly.
wow.
And it's got the little antenna on it, which I like that. But this looks pretty good. The only other one I've seen that was good. I mean, they had another one that was like the gray armor just painted gold, of a little larger one than this. But the only other one was the one from the Avengers set that was put out like in the early 90s, I think. And I mean, that's in the case behind me back there. You could probably see it standing there in the gold. So I was really happy that they got this one out because size-wise it fits. That Avengers one doesn't. It's a little smaller.
Yeah,
than
that's a really
5 inch.
and
These are 6 inches.
and it's shiny.
Yeah, the other one's shiny. Yeah, there it is. And you can see the skirt on it.
Yeah. That's
Well, hello
badass.
everyone.
Hey,
Yo,
Mark.
dude.
Awesome stuff. Yep. And I do have that Avengers. Yeah, it's a small little. Yeah, is it full
It's shiny.
scale or is it?
No.
I mean, it's 5 1/4. Well, because the Giant Man. I'm looking at the Giant Man.
Yeah,
I
let me
have
go
from that one.
grab it.
I got the Thor and Scarlet. Yeah, that one is
There it
hanging
is.
from my basement, flying downstairs. That small one.
Nice.
And Dbudmartin is the Iron Man expert. He wrote the book.
He
So
is. He wrote the book on the Iron Man armor. So yeah.
yeah, a lot of people would think that it's a good point. That it's not the same armor. It's not just painted gold. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Yep.
the one from the Avengers set. And
That's
it's
the one
nice and
I
shiny,
have. Yeah, I
but
got that one too.
it's
Not as good as the other one.
because this is like a 5 inch.
Yeah.
All the ones are doing now like 6 inches.
That was
so
a-
like I want one that matches.
What he's talking about, folks who don't know, that one, the other one Dbud just brought, there was a big box set of Avengers #1, which was based on the cover of Avengers of #1. They also did one with giant size X-Men 1, and even the X-Men Gold and Silver Age X-Men #1. So I have the one you're talking about right there. That's cool.
Yeah, I like
the
this.
one
It
you got
has
is better.
the shell shaped helmet.
You
which
just
is-
doxed him. No one knows
I-
he's
I just-
he's Tony Stark back then, right?
Oh,
Just kidding.
yeah, back then they didn't. Yeah.
So does that helmet come off?
And
or
then
no?
no, the helmet doesn't come off, but it has a separate head that you can swap.
Right.
That is just Tony's.
Tony.
head.
Yeah.
So is
but
that a
this-
new one, D-Bud? Is that a
Yes,
new
this
Marvel
just
Legends?
came out in the
Yeah, the
last
order-
week.
the order.
Yeah, New Legends.
Oh, wow.
It was supposed to come out the end of the month, but this is the gray armor, the original armor, and you see that doesn't have the skirt.
Yeah.
It was just this, and I'm like, yeah, that's accurate. And then this one, the gold one, has the skirt.
So it is
Oh, they
accurate.
got
The
something
one
right.
that-
That's great. They did it. They did
Hasbro
it
got something
correctly.
right twice.
Yes.
Mark that on your
I
calendar
was,
because
I was shocked.
they usually
And I
they
saw
screwed
that
up
in
the-
I said
They
it in
used
the
to screw
listing.
up.
I'm like, oh, perfect. I got to get that.
Nice. That is cool.
They also came out with this one.
90s. Yeah.
This is
Is that the
uh,
Marvel Legends Series 1
yes.
redo?
Well,
I mean the
they're
20-year,
the
20th
legend.
anniversary.
It's the Legend series. Yeah, it's this anniversary ones. This they
Yeah.
called the Model 9 one, which is the. It was like the end of the stuff that I was doing in my book on the armors, which is like in the just after the Bob Layton had left the second time. And this is more like when John Romita Jr. started doing the art and John Byrne was doing the writing on the title. And it's got these kind of bigger boots on them, these wider
Yep.
boots than which isn't really, because they did right after the Armor Wars, and he went from the red and silver armor back to the red and gold. It's close to this, but this is actually a later armor where he got these bigger boots on it. There's another one, which of course I have in the case back there, that's more like the one that was immediately at the end of Armor Wars. But so
are those boots made for flying or walking?
Both, actually, because I think he
Yep,
got
yep.
crippled after this. It's when he got shot. So
Ouch.
this was so that I picked those up. These were new ones, and I see they've got they're coming out with a Hulkbuster. It's not coming out until I think October, around that time. Later in the year. Same thing. It's another Legends one. So.
Well, you must have the original Hulk, or one of the they had the Legends Hulkbuster years ago. I'm guessing you have that one. Right?
Well, let me go grab them out here again. Back in a second.
You work. Sorry.
You're muted.
Oh, he probably muted when he went to get the figure. Yep.
You're muted, D-Bud.
I think he went to get the figure. I think out of the display case.
I had the wrong screen up anyway. There we go.
Yeah, you don't want to hear all the noise when I'm banging all the.
That was my fault.
On there. Yeah, because this is the.
He's got like a flying.
This is what I was talking about with the. This was the they call it kind of the retro armor.
Yeah.
Which is right after the Silver Centurion armor.
Wow.
This was in the Armor Wars. And then that ended that, and they brought out this suit. And then this was a little bit after that, which has just got the bigger cuffs on the boots and on the gloves. So they look similar as far as like the chest plate and the rest of it, but that just a little bit of a difference in these cuffs being bigger. And then the Hulkbuster I just have this one from the
I had that
90s ones that came out for the
TV show,
the TV, the cartoon,
Toy Biz ones.
Yeah, so it's got these like shiny pieces that are detachable on it.
Yeah,
but these little things like on the just gonna pop off here.
That's
so
a little Hulkbuster.
Yeah, but yeah,
Tiny
it's too small compared to.
Well,
it's the same. It's the same. Like these are like here's a stealth armor, but this is
cool.
It's an inch shorter.
Completely different line.
It's the same. Yeah, it's a different line. It's the same as like the scale for this Silver Iron Man one.
Right.
Gold, silver. So it's a little bit bigger than that one. It's bulkier, but it's the same scale. But since they're making all the other ones an inch bigger, then so I've been picking up all of these. Like this is the like the modular armor that he had around issue 300.
That's nice. Yep.
So
Gwag has the big one there, the big Hulkbuster. There you go.
So
that's the one. That's the one I have. Gwagnar. Yep.
Yeah. So they're putting a Hulkbuster out that should be at the scale of these other ones. So of course I'll have to buy that.
Naturally.
You have to buy. Yep.
And I got to take a picture of all these so I was waiting for these other ones to come in to take a picture to put on Nick's Gilded.
I'll put them all together. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they spotted them all on our Spider-Man shows. People are seeing because I have all those Iron Mans, and there's a Titanium Man, which is to scale because he's huge. But I have all those, and then the shelf above, I've got the bunch of Ultramen, which I'm still watching those. God, there's a lot of series of Ultraman.
Oh yeah. Well,
you have the Diamond Select Iron Man.
I think one of those is.
me grab it, and then at the end we got to go do Kolchak,
Don't
right?
we have the? So I was trying to tell you, don't we have the Kolchak watch stream coming up?
But we got D-Bud on. I want to show him my Iron Man.
Oh, it's
Then we'll
fine
go.
with me, but you're the one who had this thing scheduled like at 11:30 my time.
Yep. I can push it back, but yeah, let me show this just real quick.
No, I'm no hurry. So yeah, it was a lot of fun though, D-Bud hanging, talking, reviewing some Iron Man, talking some Iron Man. I got to try to get those figures, but I don't think I trust Walmart to get them. Probably try to order them. They're probably not cheap. But
yeah, I'm glad to. It's hard for me to get on the show just because of work and when it's on. Just had some time off this week, and like, oh, this is the perfect time. I
got you.
Love to have me on, and I love coming
having you
on
on
here.
here.
I just wish I could come on more often.
No, me too, man. Me too.
But,
I have I don't know if I show you my my Kirby figure I just got. Did you see that
figure.
one? Yeah, I got a Jack Kirby figure. I was lucky to get this one.
I've heard you talking about, but okay.
It's the Turtles, Eastwood Turtles cartoon. They have a Kirby character on there. It's based on Kirby, of course. And so we couldn't find it for a while. We were lucky to find it at Target. So I was lucky to get that. And
they should have sent you one.
Hmm?
You should have gotten one for free, being the biggest Kirby fan there is.
I don't think they care.
Yep.
I don't care. In fact, they hate me. It's got some cool stuff. I didn't even open it yet. It's got.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you free him?
I need to free him. I usually do too. So
we can do some more drawings for you.
I guess it's because I feel guilty. I'm not supposed to be buying figures.
Let me show this figure real quick.
Well, Gwag says these figures are not cheap in Canada. They're figures are not cheap.
Oh,
wow,
yeah.
$35 to $50 a figure. And I wonder what shipping is.
Yeah, because I mean these Iron Men, I think they're about $25 each.
No, that's not too bad.
I picked up, yeah.
Who would
I don't
win,
like-
Punisher or Iron Man?
Iron Man. Easy. I don't like that kind of overcomplicated modern armor. I like the one this one Steve Bud has there. I don't like that one. You like that one?
Well, I bought it, so I like it. But he actually fell off the shelf and knocked the Invincible Woman's head off on her statue. But with that angle,
I know.
there,
I did. I hate him. Hate him
Knocked her
even more
block
now.
off.
I hate him even more now.
Yeah, it is more modern-y, I know. But
Yeah, too
That was
modern
fun.
for me.
it was a fun figure. But
Yeah, there's a couple other. I think there was at least one other one of Iron Man that came out, but it was on one of the more modern Iron Mans past when I was reading it, so I didn't pick it up.
of course, you can't go wrong with this Iron Man.
Yeah. Yo go. Logo, Lego, yo go, behold. Man, I don't know.
Looks more like Irving Forbush.
Forbush. Yeah, good point. You can really call him Shellhead.
I love my little Lego figures. Yep, they don't take up much room, so you can have a whole collection there. Yep.
or Ma Hunkle.
It does look like my uncle. Let's see. Who do you think would win? Fight Daredevil or the Punisher? She asked you, Mark, so I can answer.
Oh, that's me. I'm going with Daredevil.
Yes.
I think
good
Daredevil
answer.
would take him out. Yep.
No,
It'd be a tough
no
fight.
contest.
Tough fight, Tub. Yep.
No contest. Daredevil with his ours. But still, I'm biased that way.
Yeah.
However, Joe Dog, have you ever read I really want to say it. It's a comic called Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe? Check that out and get back to me. At least it's funny. Let's see. Mark,
Fred Hembeck. Is that Fred Hembeck or doing that one, or is it?
It sounds like it should be, but it's
No.
No,
No, it's not.
that's not. That's right.
No,
That's
it's not. It's idiot Garth Ennis.
That's right, yeah.
Gwag, you have an ambush bug figure? Wow, I don't have one of those.
In Lego style, I guess it sounds like. Yeah. Very cool.
I guess he must. I didn't know they did an ambush bug.
ambush bug and Lego.
Wow.
Hmm.
Weird. I'd almost get that just because ambush bug wouldn't look bad, Lego. Yes, it's called Joe Dog. It's really ridiculous, idiotic story. It was an alternate universe story in the middle of the 90s called Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe. It was a one shot, but it was stupid. I mean, it's funny almost because I think it was done. I think Ennis agreed to do it just because he figured people at that point, the Kill Crazy Get Alives who were all big into the Punisher at the time will get any comic that he's in, no matter how ridiculous it was. They'll think it's cool if he's killing everything. So that's probably what it was.
Sounds right.
Pretty much. So we have a watch party to go to.
Yeah.
And get dressed.
Push it back a few minutes here, but
May have to put it back a little bit. DJ Ronnie G.
Iron Man Nightlight.
Oh, I want to see that. Yeah, let's show that.
Walk.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh, this is cheap. Yeah. Or just click him and his
Perfect.
eyes light up. It's the movie Iron Man.
I like it.
Iron Man.
Well, he launched
So-
the more MCU.
Yep.
We did. D-Bud, dude, I can't believe, man, it was so much fun. It was, I just can't believe it's been a year, dude, or more than a year. But I know
Yeah,
you don't.
we'll have to do
you
it
don't-
again sometime, but
You
not
don't
like a
vacation
year
often,
from
do
now.
you?
No, I don't.
Not a year from now. So you let me know when you have the time, because like you said,
And I'm taking a vacation from modding too, basically, because I
really
don't have time in the morning. Well, I'm doing stuff around the house, so I don't.
vacation.
I've been doing the modding in the morning,
No, I got you.
so I'm kind of getting a vacation from that too.
Don't blame you one bit, but I'm glad you
But-
got to hang. So
Yeah, well, we'll have to do this sooner rather than later.
I hope so.
So,
Like I said,
yeah.
whenever at your discretion, sir. I mean, whenever you're able to do it, it's done. Done deal.
We'll do it.
That's what
We'll do it
Wednesdays are
sometime.
for. Or when,
Wild
or in your
card,
case,
isn't it?
comics, or Monday nights for the comics too. So either way.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks, brother. Appreciate you
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thank you for having
And,
me. on.
Well, it was a lot of fun. I want to thank everyone being here with us tonight. Mark D. Well, D, but did you need to plug anything for anybody or no?
Well, a Pop Culture Minefield on Friday. We'll be doing The Prisoner with our friend Just Another Red Shirt is going to be on there.
Oh, cool.
And I'm going to miss it because I have to go to
Oh, you're
an
gonna miss it?
appointment. Yeah, so I
Aw.
might see the beginning, like first half hour or so, but then I have to go to an appointment.
Dang.
It was supposed to be a couple of weeks ago, and they had to reschedule
Yeah,
it.
he changed it, right? Yeah, he changed.
Yeah. So, and then of course, you'll be seeing Clobby and me on Nick Weiser's on Friday discussing Spider-Man issues 53 through 56.
Yeah.
And you probably, I'll probably be modding on Sunday for Valiant Renegade in the afternoon. And definitely for our friend Brian, that 70s rock fan, on Monday afternoon, which is, I think it's, all these time zones here. It's it's 4 Central on Monday. I'm forgetting what his topic is. Bad me. But he just
Something good.
He did the Captain America canon film from 1990 with the Italian Red Skull this last Monday. So
yes,
that was painful. I rewatched it for that show.
Oh shit! Terrible.
But Stan Lee said the movie was going to be so good that they had, and Red Skull was so awesome, they went back and filmed more scenes with the Red Skull to make the movie even better.
Well, there were some things in that they kind of used within the MCU Captain America movie. It felt like to me, or little elements of it, but just little elements. For the most part, it was painful watch, but it was fun.
I haven't watched it in so long.
Thanks,
there
Gwag.
it is.
Gwag sent the picture. Thank you, Gwagnar. Yeah,
Oh.
that's
There we go.
well, at least they did. I wonder if they ever did any other ambush bug figures. That's weird. Thanks, Quag. That's very cool. I like it. I love ambush bug. So, all right, Mark. Anything?
Well, we just hope to see everyone who can make it over at the Kolchak Watch Party. If you stay here as soon as the stream ends, it's I set it up so it goes automatically over to the watch party. So we'll be starting that in about 10 minutes or so. So Clobberin times we have a break, and then we'll be doing a watch party tomorrow night for Blake 7. Pretty darn good episode. Spoiler alert. Aftermath.
Yep.
And the club, and you'll talk about the clubhouse, of course. But looking forward to hanging out with you tomorrow night, and of course at the watch party. Jaws will be on this Kolchak watch party.
Nice. All right.
The uninitiated.
Yeah, what's going on with their next stream, Clobby?
What do you mean? Oh yeah. Well, I'll get there. Where am I? Oh. Tomorrow, everyone, at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, a special Clobby stream that I've told almost nobody about because I forgot to mention it, but I mentioned it to Loki, I think. Let's see. 15 years of celebrating 15 years, 500 episodes on YouTube, 1,500 overall that I've done for some strange reason over the course of 15 years. And I thought I would mess around and talk about it a little bit tomorrow before I go on the Tom stream and then the clubhouse. So that's that. Then, of course, there's the clubhouse. Again, as Mark mentioned, with the Blake 7 episode, a Kolchak episode, a Star Trek comic with number 1 and Mark. And then Friday, 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern on J-Man's great channel. J-Man Sean and I continue our review of the legendary Jack Kirby's run on the world's greatest comic magazine, Fantastic Four 1 through 102, and annuals 1 through 6. And as Dbud mentioned, on 32 Flavors of Dick Weiser's channel, 8:30 Central, with the Comic Shop, Friday Night Comic Shop Boys, we review 4 more issues of Amazing Spider-Man number 53 through 56. And then the Saturday night Star Trek, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, for 4 more episodes of Star Trek Voyager, beginning the 7th season.
Yes.
And then don't forget, End Your Week in Geek on the Great Mark D with the C, Sunday Night Geekery, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for some fun geekeriness and maybe even some eatery later. So thank you all, everyone, for being here with us. I do appreciate it. You're fantastic. I'll just we'll do all the shout outs and proper stuff tomorrow. I'll just say thanks to our great wrenches, whether they're here or not, the great Eric K., the great Chris Persia, the extraordinary Dbudmartin, and for being with us, Diod, Lord Thoth, J-Man, Max, Fredstone, Phantom Outsider, Larry, Manny City, Cal-El. And thank you all for hanging out with us tonight, watching, whether it was on a lurking or on a download later or in the chat. You've all been fantastic in the chat. Appreciate you so much. Have a wonderful remainder of your weekend.
have to set an example even in the face of stupidity. Now, everybody that reads comic books knows that Kirby's Silver Surfer is the only true Silver Surfer.
I just love clobbering time.